Brandon? Oh, for second shift? All right, well, let me reach out to him then. Maybe he knows something that Carrie doesn't know. All right. So call you back on this number? All right, we'll do. Yep. Set that young man up about 6 times to start, and he never shows up. But then he wants to call and blow me up constantly about trying again. I'm like, dude, 6 times I'm giving opportunities to get started. I'd love to get you going, man, but I need somebody that's actually going to make it when they say they're going to make it. I hate that because it's a great opportunity out there. I mean, they hire in almost everybody who sticks around and shows up every day.
What kind of work is it?
It's food production. You're basically packaging different food items that they start here. This is the mix plant here in the test kitchen upstairs. But that's the type of work it is. It's not hard. Just they expect you to show up every day. And you do that, they'll pay you for it. All right, let me get a couple things ready here and we'll get rolling. I'll get you rolling ahead of anyone else that starts. That way, because I only got one computer that's really working decently. So we'll get you connected. Have you done anything on our website before?
Your work?
Yeah. You ever worked for us?
No, my mom actually told me once.
Okay. Who did?
My mom.
Okay. She used to work for us, or she just heard?
Yeah, I think she did.
What's her name?
Wanda and I.
Okay. A while ago?
I'm not sure. I remember.
Okay. No worries.
You have to listen. Russell Brand, he's here in the U.S.
A voice that echoes across the land.
The systemic changes.
Greatest need is on first. And I tell you, your best opportunity for advancement will be on first too.
Systems that genuinely represent ordinary Americans so that we can overcome cultural differences.
A beacon of hope in a world of chaos.
We sat down yesterday with Russell Brand.
Fresh off the Joe Rogan podcast.
How can you have
All
energy
right.
companies that profit when there's an energy crisis, military-industrial complex that profits when it's a war, pharmaceutical companies that
Resume,
profit when
ID, and
it's a
stuff.
pandemic,
I'll go ahead and scan them real quick.
necessity for ongoing crisis. Decentralization.
Leave them right back to you. And you need to keep a hard copy of them.
The only way that America and the world
Yeah,
will
no problem.
progress.
And did he bring systemic change? No, not yet.
Beginning wonders, wherever you're watching this, you might be watching it on YouTube, you could be watching it everywhere. I don't know how the world works. The whole show is only available on Rumble. There's a link in the description so you can sign up to that, and also you can become a member of our locals community where you get additional content and you can watch everything ad-free. Plus, you'll get my stand-up special, Brandemic, an interesting look at the last couple of years of craziness. I'm looking at the comments right now. Look at what people are saying.
All two.
Huh?
It's a
Brandemic.
catchy title.
Came up with that last minute, didn't we, mate?
Yeah.
Look at this. That video was a bit cringe, says Renegade. Hey, we're trying our hardest. Yeah, I don't know. Was it a bit self-aggrandizing? What about the undercutting ending? Was that not right? It's been a crazy time. We just got back from a tour of your country, America. If indeed you're in America, we went right across the nation. Florida, Texas, Los Angeles, New York. It's been insane. We appeared on all sorts of media outlets, and obviously some of them caused a stir. In particular, that Bill Maher appearance seems to have stirred up some conversation, which we're very, very grateful for. We'll talk to you about that a little bit in a minute. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments. Remember, I can only take praise, just praise.
Oh, yeah.
I still regret the fact that I didn't say Russiagate. That's what I should have said.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Oh, what about, go on, Gareth. Try and tell me something now about yourself or anything at all in life.
About me?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, well, I just have dreams. Something
Non-responsive, non-responsive. That's what that guy says. Non-responsive. What does that even mean, non-responsive? I don't even know what non-responsive is. Hey, listen, after about 10, 20 minutes, in fact, I think we're going to stream for 30 minutes on YouTube today. But
I'm going to slide over to that computer there. Now I'm connected to it, so I'll be able to help you, guide you through certain parts of it. We'll be able to skip.
apparently at the beginning, he had some interesting questions about medication that Matt Hancock's leaked WhatsApp messages reveal were not communicated to the general public. If you're an American, you won't know who Matt Hancock is, and you're bloody lucky not to know, frankly. In our country, he was the head of the health. He was the health minister, and he, in conjunction with Chris Whitty, organized, such as it was.
So I clicked on the mobile. Let's close one of them. I think I clicked it twice. Let me close one of them. There you go. Go ahead.
Bhattacharya, an open critic of lockdown, who called for herd immunity from the start. We'll be talking to him, so that will be when we click only onto Rumble. But let's have a look now at Chinese democracy. Is it Chinese democracy? Because Xi Jinping has been re-elected in his campaign to win an election. Nobody at all. That's who he was being. You could vote for him, or you could not vote at all.
I think that's in his own party. Yeah,
Right.
I don't think that's of everyone. I think that's within his own party.
He won unanimously, though, Gal.
He did win unanimously.
He
Yeah.
beat no one at all unanimously.
Correct.
I feel like that you wouldn't want to abstain or vote no against Xi Jinping because I feel like I think he's strict.
Yeah,
That's the
I
impression
reckon
I'm getting.
And of almost 3,000 votes, he got them all.
He got
Every
nearly
single one of them.
Every single
Would you?
person.
That's
Even
six.
what if one person had gone, I don't like Xi Jinping, and I'm not afraid to say it. And like, of course, many of us think that that's ridiculous and shows up Chinese totalitarianism for the unipolar power system that it is. But consider the democracy, so-called, in our countries. Is it meaningfully different, or is it marginally different? Is it just a better illusion? Have a look at this moment where Joe Biden's, animatronic waxwork was revealed.
Better version of?
Yeah, obviously, if you have a look at Joe Biden's animatronic presidential representative, perhaps the first thing you'll notice is it's somewhat more cogent than the actual person in the White House. And with chatbot GPT advancing at the rate that it is, all you really would have to do is attach that to this animatronic presidential mannequin and
see
improve
here.
democracy significantly. But nevertheless, have a look
I
at the animatronic.
think you
Joe
don't
Biden.
need to
Check it
put
out.
dashes on the social. Just type the numbers.
He's a particularly sexy animatronic thing, isn't he? Because he's got that, his chest is out. His
Yeah.
body
And then
language
let's
in
not
the
have it
private
remember you,
world,
because then it's
that
going to
will
remember
be
your
attractive to
info.
that mannequin. You can
Don't put the
that
dashes here either. Just
Diane
type the
Fossey
numbers.
in the middle of sort of one of them forests with a lot of silverback eights. I think they'd respect that, Joe
Yeah, I
Biden.
see, yeah.
Do you think?
I think maybe.
There we
yeah.
go.
Also, like
Oh.
with all the Sturm and Drang around progressivism and American
There you go.
democracy, do you notice that sort of everyone, all of them waxworks just look basically the same? You could interchange any of them, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's the result of like hundreds of years of democracy is all of these guys. None of them look that happy about it, do they?
No, the concept of suits has hardly changed as well.
They've barely changed it. All that's happened is we've become a little more conservative around bow ties. Neckwear has been tempered, hasn't it? Like no one dresses.
All right, usually just your first name or whatever you want it to be, something you'll remember.
It's just frankly not enough.
No.
For hundreds of years of democracy, like unless Xi Jinping were to emerge, Xi Jinping, he wouldn't have any other animatronics, would he? The Xi Jinping
Good.
one would like sort of karate chop them others away, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I submitted it. It usually takes them a couple days. I sent it on Friday though, so we'll see. Okay, yeah. They said send as much as you can. I don't have to do it through the portal anymore. I can reply to an email now. Yeah, it's popping up all over the place. So they're like pretty much strictly going by this video with all this now. They must have a lot of people like setting up bot accounts and stuff like that.
Clambering over that geezer in front of him. You'd be
So, all right, no problem. Yeah, send me any utilities or anything like that you can send. It would be great.
Jill Biden answering
Is she
the
on the-
Right.
This is real Jill.
Oh, okay.
This is the real Jill.
Okay.
Baby.
Okay,
She's
super.
Responding to questions about
Yep,
a
bye.
potential cognitive test for the elderly. I also think that's not like you should skip through a cognitive test.
That's
if
my
you're
boss at the
in
IT
office,
company.
shouldn't You shouldn't fear it.
Sure.
Even if it was for
Yeah,
like
it shouldn't be
people
that
that
the
are
thing
The money
that trips you
man.
up, is it?
no, there shouldn't be a cognitive test. You shouldn't be tested. People should take a good faith that as you enter your decline and dotage, that you're sharp as a tack, even if there's strong evidence to the contrary. So here, this CNN broadcaster puts it to Jill Biden that her husband should be subject to cognition tests as he enters the winter chill of the later life. Have a look.
Haley, one of the Republican candidates, is calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Not ridiculous. It's not like, oh, don't do that. I know you don't want to test people's cognizance. You do want to, don't you?
I guess so, but I thought she might have more to say than just that.
Does she say anymore?
No,
Let's
she
give her
just lets
7
it.
more seconds.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we haven't even discussed, we would never even discuss something like that.
You bloody well should, shouldn't you? Because like almost every time he crops up on the TV, he can't get.
It
to the
doesn't
sound
matter
of
what
his-
you
of his
pick.
own
I don't even know why I'd
animatronic
ask that
doppelganger.
anymore.
This is his latest blunder behind a podium. Check it.
Well, you got to pick something.
They
Now.
have to pay
So
out
let's just pick one of the popular. It's just,
159,000
Yeah.
billion.
The animatronic one, done that. You
Yeah.
go, lads, you ballsed up again.
All right, we're gonna skip this.
The animatronic.
Because you gave me a resume, it's going to autofill this stuff.
That thing they always say about dreams and whatever. If they did that, you'd lock its sponsor off,
Here
wouldn't
you
you?
go.
You'd shut down Westworld.
You know, if you get stuck.
$1
Once you're done with that, we'll upload some forms for you to fill out as well.
less for prescription drugs, then it reduces the deficit.
So he's able
If they
now.
have to pay out 100,
He's able to lean into the
Yeah.
errors now. It's sort of become
It's like a
part of
cue
his
now,
shtick.
isn't it? It's a cue for people to laugh at that.
We all make mistakes, and there's none of us that's perfect. And in a sense, I am sensitive to Joe Biden as an individual and as a human being. And it's not like he should be condemned and criticized for mental decline. It's merely an obvious emblem of the atrophying system of which he is a symbol. Just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the tour of America. I went on Joe Rogan. That was a laugh. Went on Bill Maher. You probably saw the bit where I talked about MSNBC and all that kind of stuff. And in Florida, which I like, it's so bloody warm and lovely there.
Isn't it?
That's where the Rumble headquarters are. I went to the Rumble headquarters. That was an
No,
amazing
no,
moment.
I was right with you.
What about the first bit, though?
I wasn't there.
That's the bit where we went to a party and there was a sort of a wall with people passing champagne through holes in a wall at
Yeah,
us.
I heard about this.
That was incredible.
I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, it was a good bit. Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly, that lady, he's
From Fox News.
Fox News, one of the Fox Five, who's really overtly criticised him in the past.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
Like all of the people, like Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfield,
Yeah.
friendly.
So friendly.
The main thing that's come from this visit to America and appearing in what are known as right-wing spaces, places it would have been inconceivable for me to have visited even a few years ago. Check out the video of me outside Fox News just a few years ago, like baiting the security there, baiting them. Don't put out, that's not helping me. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's the distraction, that. Thanks, guys. Like, it would have been, you wouldn't have been able to imagine that I would go onto shows like that. But now I've gone in there and had conversations that I think are, I don't know if they're significant culturally, but I reckon they're the type of conversation that we need to have. Essentially, that alliances can be formed by people on the periphery, regardless of what their political allegiance is. For example, you might be super into progressivism, identity politics, social justice, BLM, or you might be ultra-traditional, conservative, religious, and you've got more in common with other people on the periphery of the cultural debate than you do with centralized authoritarianism as represented by media power and current congressional political power and financial power. These kind of alliances, I believe, can meaningfully change the political discourse, and people that say that we should remain separated from one another in ossified camps, incommunicative, are those that take advantage of the lack of communication and the lack of potential alliance. I'm pretty different from someone like Ben Shapiro. And chatting to Ben Shapiro, I didn't get the idea. I literally put it to him. Ben, would you stand on a platform with people that were into like trans issues and like were literally pro-choice and stuff that Ben Shapiro, I think it's safe to say, pretty avowedly disagreed with, if it meant that you would have the authority to run your community, school system, health, education independently as a part of an autonomous community? They could run their communities autonomously. Essentially what we're talking about is the necessity for decentralization. And I think this is the big idea that I'm interested in. And I'm largely informed, if you're a regular viewer of this show, you'll know, by Martin Gurry's ideas in The Revolt of the Public, where he argues that since the information age utterly annihilated the pre-existing centralized media and power system, it became necessary either to have more centralized authoritarianism or a different set of publics coagulating around different issues and ultimately creating more democracies, i.e. devolve power wherever possible. Of course there's complexity in that. You're not going to just wave a magic wand and suddenly create new confederacies all over the world. It's going to be a challenging idea, but I think that ordinary people, by and large, will benefit regardless of how you identify, whether you're a traditional or progressive person. And that's the conversation that I was trying to advance. And that's what interests me, because you can apparently have those conversations in right-wing spaces, presumably because they're anti-authoritarian, but you can't have them in neoliberal spaces. That interests me, that does. It fascinates me that that's where you can have the conversation. I was also fascinated to find out that people on the avowed, committed and determined right were equally critical of centralized authority and centralized power. That, like Tucker Carlson,
Our guy, welcome.
Like no alliance to the Republican Party, no more. Like even Crowder.
Sorry,
even Crowder
talking
spoke to
Zoom meeting here.
launched his new show on Rumble, he was saying, I don't have no alliance. You know, these people are overtly and explicitly right wing, and all of these conversations were couching, I don't agree with you on a bunch of issues. A bunch. It's a long, long list. But ultimately, where we are now is we're at a point where if we're not willing to allow other people to have different views from us, then we're going to remain entrenched and intransigent in a static situation that benefits people that are already running the system. That was, I guess, the main take home of like that trip.
It was, and I think a lot of the publicity around this and the kind of hit pieces that were coming out were really misrepresenting what you were doing. And overtly, your point about going on all of these shows was to say, we have things that we disagree on, points where we disagree. But through communication, through conversing, through coming up and talking through these ideas, talking through the complexity and the nuance, which obviously people don't enjoy in the public sphere anymore, or certainly not in the media sphere, that we can reach conclusions, we can reach ways in which we do agree in forming alliances through this. And that was present throughout all these interviews.
Isn't it also an issue that comes up? Let me know if you agree with us. Let me know in the chat right now with what's happening with the Jan 6 stuff and Tucker Carlson, and what's happening to Matt Taibbi and Schellenberger with these congressional hearings. Ultimately, centralized power is making this claim. You, ordinary people, the public, all of us, I'm putting in that category of ordinary people, i.e. human beings with eyes and faces and feet and stuff, are unable to discern the truth for ourselves, and information needs to be centrally controlled and censored in order for us
they
to
want
make decisions.
these weird.
I.e. with the January 6 stuff, whether you like Tucker Carlson or agree with Tucker Carlson or not, and I told him when we in that conversation, he goes, have you found yourself having conversations with people that you wouldn't agree with? And I went, yeah, you know, like, and I told him that I didn't agree with his stance on, for example, homelessness, and he said that he regretted some of the things that he said about homelessness.
Let me see.
But obviously, the information that Fox News or the footage
Click exit
around January the 6th has been edited, but the fact that Shaman
right.
didn't get access.
So now I'm going to set up some forms for you to log in and fill out.
Interesting, and it's pretty clear that it's a story that's being used without endorsing any, whether you want to call it an insurrection or a protest or however you want to understand it, whatever suits you. You know, I don't know what's best for you to describe it. How is it being used? Because what we're seeing again and again are crisis situations utilized to centralize power. 9/11, you know, which obviously I acknowledge was a tragedy, was used to legitimize more surveillance. The pandemic was used to legitimize more regulation and lockdowns. And it seems if Matt Hancock's WhatsApp leaks are to be believed, that even scientists, the scientists upon whose opinion we were most reliant, were being curtailed, directed, and controlled. We'll talk more about that exclusively on Rumble when we click over, because indeed, our raison d'etre for joining Rumble is specifically so we can have these conversations directly with you, because I think you can understand nuance. I think you can discern for yourself what the truth is. That you can look at me and say, oh, Russell Brand's got his own biases. He's going to make mistakes sometimes, plainly. Look at him. Look at how he dresses. He's not making a claim to know everything, and I probably know even less than I think that I know. The amount I know about reality is negligible. The sum total of human knowledge is negligible in the limitless expanse of all potential realities. So the fact that different people see the world differently is something that's going to have to be understood and embraced. On the subject of January the 6th, I think it was Daily Wire that published this, who I also had conversations with and very much enjoyed them. January 6th was, according to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer explained that the riot of January 6th was a violent insurrection, and in order to preserve democracy, Schumer said Fox News should take Tucker Carlson off the air. I think as a general rule, those that are advocating for censorship and more centralized control ought to be regarded skeptically. And to note how that story relates to this headline, Congress approves a $2.1 billion emergency funding bill for Capitol Police. So does it seem like, let's take this line, January 6th was completely wrong, let's describe it in the worst possible terms. It was an insurrection, it was an attempt to overthrow the brilliant and well-functioning democracy of America that doesn't need any change. Let's take that. Do you feel like they have amplified its significance in order to legitimize this $2.1 billion emergency bill? Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments. Do you think you can handle nuanced information, a diverse range of POVs
Click on
subject like this, so that you can make
employee login
about it? Or would you prefer that the government and the media censored it for you because it's stupid? I mean, it seems like a rhetorical trick to even say that, because it's so bloody obvious what the answer is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the lack of nuance, isn't it?
Silicon Valley wasn't that small of a bank.
About Tucker and Fox's reporting of the Jan 6 stuff recently, you can say that they're cherry-picking information and editing stuff, and I'm sure that's true. In the same way that maybe on the other side things were cherry-picked or I don't know, exaggerated to paint a certain narrative in one way. But either way you look at it, if the end result is what you get to is an increase in laws around protest, which is definitely happening, as Branko Markovic writes in the Jacobin from last year, I don't know if we'll get to this here, but he says, what we've got instead is one thing, the understanding that the Washington establishment and depressingly many rank and file liberals clearly still believe the country is capable of ramping up the national security state. In response to the Capitol riot, the Capitol Police have become a national, unfoilable anti-terrorism squad. The FBI has doubled the number of its domestic anti-terror agents and consequently its domestic terrorism caseload. an explosion of anti-protest laws, and there's talk of more security state expansion to come. And so this is, you could argue, what they wanted to happen anyway. A lot like we talk about the pandemic and things that occurred in the pandemic. Did they want this to happen anyway? Did they want the police state to increase? Did they want more militarization of the police? Did they want to crack down on protests? Is that a legitimate question?
Let us know in the chat in the comments where you fall on that issue. Now, what I would say we have to do to be discerning and to be responsible is not go to the right extreme, particularly the unprovable extreme, and therefore the pandemic was a construct, or therefore the January 6th was entirely constructed by deep state agencies. I think that if you say that and you can't prove that, that plays into their hands. What you can say is that these things advantage establishment power. They legitimize extra expenditure, they legitimize extra regulation. Now, before we click over to being exclusively on Rumble, where we'll be talking in depth about some of the revelations that Matt Hancock's text
stay on it.
revealed, not to mention Robert Redfield and his eerily close to Robert Redford name, like that.
All right, so that's the employee portal you're looking at. Now you can access this from your phone or anything, okay? This is where you'll be able to check your pay stubs, and then at the end of the year, your W-2s will be available on there. Today, today you're going to click on where it says e-documents.
Have one common interest ultimately. We're all born, we're all going to die. If you have a look at that, this Congress vote person, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, her attitude to Matt Taibbi and
now click on the green button there. It says employee start wizard.
The Twitter file journalists, excellent journalists, people that, I'm sure we wouldn't agree with on everything, but doubtlessly have incredible
I'm just going to
integrity,
maximize that for you.
hard.
Start going through these forms, a bunch of rules and stuff. I will be giving you written copies of these. Just check the box in the top and bottom as you browse through them.
Critical, so rude. And yet, of course, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz in 2016 was forced to step aside after a leak of internal Democratic Party email showed officials actively favoring Hillary Clinton during the presidential primary and plotting against Clinton's rival Bernie Sanders. We're just simply plotting against him. So
democratic.
It doesn't. These plots don't seem particularly democratic, do they? What's interesting to me is any peripheral figure, whether they are of the left or of the right, are against centralized authoritarian agenda. Let's have a little look at Debbie Wasserman-Schultz in particular, talking to Matt Taibbi, and just note the attitude and manner. And after this, of course, we're going to be clicking over to being exclusively on Rumble, where you can watch us freely and without fear of intervention or censorship. God knows that's why we're there, and we'll be talking a little more about some of the
I'm going to leave it on YouTube.
Vaccine stuff and all sorts of interesting things that we wouldn't talk about on this platform because of respect for this platform's regulations and because we need to continue to broadcast on the platform. Let's have a look at Debbie Wasserman-Schultz now.
Mr. Taibbi, I want to ask about journalistic ethics and information sources. The Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics asserts that journalists should avoid political activities that can compromise integrity or credibility. Being a Republican witness today certainly casts a cloud over your objectivity. But
there was that condemnation about it's a two-party country, and they're trying to denounce one of the parties in a two-party system.
Yeah, you have to be a witness for one of them.
What have you got to be? An orb of pure consciousness speaking on behalf of the limitless love that underwrites all potential realities.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Oh God, I don't like the way that you're using the English language.
And they'll roll out their own little crypto, so they have full control.
Journalists receive and present certain information. Journalists should avoid accepting spoon-fed, cherry-picked information if it's likely to be slanted, incomplete, or designed to reach a foregone, easily disputed, or invalid conclusion. Would you agree with that?
I think it depends.
Really? You wouldn't agree that a journalist should avoid spoon-fed, cherry-picked information if it's likely to be slanted?
He's the one that's advocating for more censorship. Let's not forget what this hearing is about. It's about not allowing Twitter to censor information, to prevent us receiving information and discerning for ourselves what we want to believe. The Twitter files revealed the depth of organisation, conversation and liaison between government agencies such as the FBI and CIA and social media platforms. That wasn't declared. That's not explicit. They're supposed to be the new public spheres, to use the parlance or nomenclature that most people use to describe it. Also, the condescending tone.
Let me help you.
Yeah, you can't imagine speaking to someone from the mainstream media in the same way, and the way that they're described also as
what is that?
Journalist by another congressperson. It's so talking down to them and demeaning for someone who's had such a long career. I mean, both of them are very credible journalists. And you can't help but think that this is a war, at the same time as being a war on information. It's a war on
you just had a birthday
at the same time.
Absolutely. Again, referring to Martin Gurri's book, The Revolt of the Public, there is now the ability to convey counter narratives. It's happening right
there you
now.
go. Just type the numbers. You don't need to do any dashes for the social.
Censor and control emergent social cases because they've already co-opted the mainstream media. The mainstream media, who get the majority of their revenue through sponsorship and data capture, are not in a position to communicate openly with the public in the same way that democracy is unable to meaningfully represent and demonstrate the will of ordinary people because of the manner of their funding, because of the efficacy of lobbying.
Virtually, it's how I live anyway. I hardly carry any cash.
You know that. You don't need me to tell you that. This is just part of a conversation we're having. Let me know if you agree in the chat, in the comments. We're going to click over to Rumble at 30 minutes, as discussed and agreed. So we'll go over to that.
Oh, we'll stick to timing.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, I just want to run through some of the information that we were conveying when we were on some of these shows. This is some stuff that I think is valuable. In fact, if you watch me on Tucker, you'll see that I read it there. In fact, maybe, like, you know, the continual claim that, that I oughtn't be appearing on right-wing, allegedly right-wing spaces, I think is undermined by some of the things I was able to say. Can you imagine? Let me know in the chat and comments if you think I would have been able to say this sort of stuff on CNN or MSNBC. This is, when I was on Tucker, I read out a bunch of stats that demonstrate that both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party receive their funding in similar ways, tend to have particular voting patterns, and are ultimately operating at the behest of one centralized system. Have a look.
Hello, America. In the world of
Let me see where
energy, you know energy that we require.
So you're U.S. citizens, so you don't need to change anything else. Up here, for some reason we have to put NA in that building. You do have an apartment number, so you don't have to worry about that. And then, boop, there, and
the Democrat Party and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, the Democrat Party.
There you go.
Wall Street. In 2022, commercial banks spent over $30 million, 61% to the Republicans and 39% to the Democrats. Oh no, look, the Republicans are a bit worse. Let's see what's coming next. Nearly 20% of Congress members, 49 Democrats and 44 Republicans, have been trading shares of companies in industries they are supposed to be overseeing as part of their committee assignment. Each one of these facts indicates a potential solution to the problem that it describes. Don't let members of Congress own stocks at all. Pharma, do not accept lobbying money from the pharmaceutical industry. It's a health industry. The interest should be, as the Hippocratic Oath declares, to do no harm and, get this, maybe even help people. And if you remove the gargantuan motivation for profit, and I'm not talking about ending trade and profit and all of those kind of extremist arguments, I'm simply saying this is a behemoth, this is corporate gigantism, this is an outgrowth, this is a tumor, this has gone too far, and it is possible to change it. And people that say it's not possible to change it are invested in it staying the same.
I feel like that's an important
You've
point.
changed your tune.
Oh, you mad fascist.
You really have changed your tune.
That's advocating for real democracy, isn't it?
It's
And for
exactly
open
the same
conversation.
things that you were saying 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's exactly the same.
I've been saying this stuff for ages. Well done ignoring us. You've made a sensible decision. Have a look at this moment on Greg Gutfield, where Greg Gutfield talked about the tumbling IQ of the nation, and it was an opportunity to talk about the research that Gareth and I did. Well, Gareth did the research, to be clear, about the funding of education. This is I would say, an avowedly, using conventional terminology, left-wing point. But again, these kind of terms, as you're saying in the comments, they're not valuable terms anymore. These systems are falling apart. We need a new language. We need a new lingua franca, new axioms, a new vernacular, a new way of speaking about this stuff. Because we can't. Otherwise, if we stay in entrenched, ossified, oppositional camps, that tension allows centralised authority to continue operating in a way. And just, I think the general atmosphere on this show is pretty friendly.
I mean, you know, I guess the point of this about IQ and education was potentially to lead us into kind of culture war territory. And what you did, or what we did, especially, was to drag out of that and take it into like the fundamentals of poverty and like how Americans are living and how American children are living and being educated. And they totally
they totally did.
And actually, they applauded at the end.
That's pretty good, because that's a thing. If I can make anything clear to you now, is that you oughtn't allow them to frame the argument. You can reject the framing. For example, if you find yourself in a contentious area like immigration or gun control, you can continually move the focus back to centralized authority, transnational corporations, unelected bodies able to mandate policy. If you continue to focus on that, then these things, while very significant and important, needn't divide us. This is what I truly believe in. Is it possible for people that stand on traditional orthodox platforms to stand with people on progressive?
They've changed the way
and agree to have a
you do the federal one.
order to change the world.
It's a multiple now. So by putting the one here, are you claiming just yourself or an alternate person?
Let us know in the chat. Is that a Garfield logo? Is that what
Your son. Okay, so what you'll do actually is put 2000 in here.
Worried about the IQ decline? Yes, I am. And actually, I've got a series of good points to make, because education is fundamentally affected by poverty. And here are some facts to help us understand this. It won't take very long. And I'm doing this because I respect you and I love you. I'm really reading some actual facts, okay? I love you. If it gets boring, you can obviously...
Here. The rest is just a worksheet. Now, the state still is the same old way. You'll do it. You'll put at least 2 there for, for total exemptions, including yourself. Down here, you'll just put like a 2.
Would we prolong this for just another couple of decades? Running out of time for you.
Okay, so listen to this. According to Global Citizen, poverty is the main barrier to education in the United States. I want to draw your collective attention to the pandemic. I think we all understand that during the pandemic, education declined. Now, I can see the break's only got 1 minute break. Yeah, 1 minute till commercial, so I've got rapid.
I have other panelists, Russell.
Huh?
I have other panelists.
Oh, good. Thanks for coming. Now, listen, during that pandemic period, billionaires added $5 trillion to their fortunes. That means that during the pandemic, a new billionaire was created every single day, while extreme poverty increased everywhere, while small businesses closed everywhere. Now, I'm going to say something on Fox News that until recently would not have been possible. As President, Donald Trump's tax cuts helped billionaires pay less taxes than the working class in 2018. For the first time in American history, the 400 wealthiest people paid a lower tax rate than any other group. But check this out, Fox News viewers, because you're going to like this bit. In October 2021, Democrats scaled back plans for a crackdown on tax cheating, bowing to an aggressive lobbying campaign by the banking industry, while Joe Biden told rich donors on the campaign trail that nothing would fundamentally change if he were elected president. So like some of the great points in your monologue, other than that reference, I was a bit like Rasputin, although he was a pretty crazy, sexy guy.
Yeah, so I think that those are points
Robert,
worth making.
I know the main thing you're looking at is how good your hair looks and beard.
I'm so happy with my beard in that show. Cam, who did my hair and makeup, well done. What a great job was done.
All right.
There.
Good.
I feel like
Good.
I'd be able to go
That's
on
what you want to see.
and say that Donald
Or is
Trump-
this pending review? That means I have to do my portion of them. So you're good. You're done on the computer now. Have you moved over to that gray table there?
Impugnated or impugned or was negative for ordinary working people. I think it's a pretty good chat and a comment. And also that fact about a billionaire being created not every day, it's actually every 30 hours.
30 hours. I
So
know
it's
you
a
did that,
day and a
but
bit.
It sounds better.
It sounds better. A billionaire a day. It's more effective. Now listen, we've got to leave YouTube now because we are exclusively on Rumble. Why? Because we can speak freely on Rumble. And we got a story that we've got to tell you. Fauci has got this sort of magic lab leak theory about how like it's like they're determined to believe that market, anti-wet markets or so. Is that what this is really about? But we can't do it here on YouTube if you're watching this. There's a link in the description. Click over to Rumble. Join us there. You'll be okay. We love you there. We welcome everybody. You couldn't have an identity that I wouldn't love because I recognize that there's a unitary force underneath all reality that is bringing us back together. The separation is an illusion. That's why conversations have to be had in a spirit of love. Let's see what ex-CDC chief Dr. Robert Redfield claims. We're going to leave you now on YouTube. Join us exclusively on Rumble for the rest of this chat. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. Thank you. Okay, former Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Robert Redfield told lawmakers Wednesday that Fauci sidelined him from internal debates about the origin of COVID-19 at the start of the pandemic, saying the former White House chief medical advisor did not appreciate Redfield's support for the so-called lab leak theory. What do you think about that?
He's a high up member of the CDC. You know, it's if you're not then taking. So we already understood from those documents and those leaked emails that were, heavily redacted, that there was a conversation around the origins at the time, and they went with only one of those, which was
so
the
they
most
were discussing
convenient.
it.
And we know that, but then now we're also finding out that people inside, so the scientists that we supposedly are meant to follow, did already share these opinions, but obviously weren't allowed to have them.
So they were saying follow the science, but they themselves were not following the science. They were ignoring and sidelining the science, not just in your country, the United States of America, but also in ours. Have a look, though, first, before we get into Chris Whitty, who was saying that he had concerns about vaccines, that vaccinating a population in the middle of a pandemic, particularly when it has a low tally rate, was not sensible. He was sidelined. The WhatsApp messages leaked from our former health secretary, Matt Hancock, reveal this. So whether it's your country or ours, and I suspect wherever you are in the world, centralized financial globalist forces were able to conspire, collaborate at the very least, in order to get the required outcome. And remember, as Carlin says, you don't need a conspiracy where interest converge. This is about nothing other than dominion and economic interest and systemic thinking. It ain't about individuals within it. It's not worth condemning individuals. We won't get you in here, but I'd love to see this thing where Fauci has a magic lab theory.
I mean, just to give, I suppose, a little counterbalance to it. I still think it might have. They still might have been thinking, we ultimately, even though there's all these other opinions, we still think collectively that this is the best way to go. The problem with it all is that the conversations aren't allowed to happen. That's
too stupid. People are too stupid to understand. Do you see how often that comes up again and again? There's an underlying belief that you're too stupid to discern information for yourself. And I know you don't like that. I know that the success of figures like Joe Rogan in this space is because there are conversations that people can listen. People can make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. Apologize for it. Move on. Not this ongoing piety and certainty, particularly when they come up with crackpot theories like the magic leak theory. Let's have a look at Fauci espousing that.
A lab leak could be that someone was out in the wild, maybe looking for different types of viruses in bats.
Really reaching now. You're having a day off from the lab. What do you do to relax? You go out into the wilds. You're looking in a bat cave. All of a sudden, some son of a bitch bat cuffs on you. Now, instead of becoming Batman, you get back to the lab like that song, The Monster Mash. I was working in the lab one night. Like, you're working there. He's still trying to cling on to the idea that it's the wild, blaming nature and the wet market rather than. It's clearly come from meddling in coronaviruses, isn't it?
Yeah. I think those scientists tend to be pretty busy. I don't think they're like doing science one day and then going off to the jungle for an Indiana Jones exploration the next, are they?
It's not Tarzan the ape man, like working in that lab, now back to the jungle with Cheetah and Jane and stuff. You're down that lab, you're working long shifts. That's probably why they're so knackered, spilling back coronaviruses.
Had colds at the time, we know that.
We don't feel very well. We feel weary, we're achy, we're knackered. If only there was some immersive, mandated solution to all of this that wouldn't give us any choice as to whether or not we take it.
Got infected, went into a lab, and was being studied in the lab and then came out of the lab. But if that's the definition of a lab leak, Jim, then that still is a natural occurrence.
Oh my God!
It's the lab.
Could it be the lab? Is it possible for it to be? He really determined.
Talking about like lab like it was a lab for, I don't know, something completely unrelated.
Food colouring, hair products, something like that. They are working on back.
Okay, so let me bring in this last part. Let me make sure we're good here.
UK dude, check out these leaks from Matt Hancock tech messages.
And you're just signing authorization. We're not going to have to do one unless you appear intoxicated at work or if you're hurt or something. Just letting you know, it's not required to get started. Okay. We treat cannabis the same as alcohol. Okay. It's completely recreational here in Michigan now. So just don't come to work intoxicated. Rules didn't really have to change. All right. So everything you've done so far has been for me.
They were saying follow the science, they were ignoring the scientists, unless those scientists agreed with the broader perspective that allowed government more ability to regulate and lock down, and pharma more ability to make profit. I don't know that looks so much like a conspiracy theory at this point. Let me know in the chat and the comments if you agree. Do you think it's time to bring our guest on? We're 40 minutes into the show. It's got to be, hasn't it? Let's get Dr. J. Bhattacharya onto the call. Now, he's Dr. J. Bhattacharya, I hope I did his name right, Professor of Medicine, Economics and Health Research Policy at Stanford University, which last time I checked,
this here is just a signature register. They keep this on top of the
about, I don't know, the reptilians and stuff like that. The professor has been critical of lockdowns from the start. Says the COVID dam is beginning to break.
This is just a highlight of everything.
That's right now. Thanks for joining us, Professor. It's great to have you here.
Are going to follow the rules.
Oh, I can't. I've not got any video here in the room.
I do the bottom here with his training. Read these rules, sign date and initials, the bottom with his training. And then there's some multiple choice questions. All the answers are in here, but if you can't find it, text me. I'm going to tell you what the answers, but I'm going to make sure you understand why.
Hey, have you been
the way it works is if you miss anything, I got to go over it.
So, can you tell me, do you feel vindicated somewhat by the revelations, and could you explain them to our audience, please?
I think they're interesting stories. And the first thing about them is that you never have known but for the journalist who decided that her publication to the public was more important than anything else. And it kind of reminds me of Julian Assange. The revelations themselves, substantively, are so important. So, for instance, one of the things that Matt Hancock said in December 2020 was that when the variants first started coming out, we need to tell the, we need to let use the variant to spread fear in the public. In fact, that's a theme that runs all through the story. Matt Hancock was the health minister of the UK. He was advising Boris Johnson about what to do. And the thing he emphasizes over and over again, let's use propaganda to scare the living daylights out of the public. And he does that. I mean, he just openly admits that in these revelations.
It terrifies me beyond even the details of this story that part of the modus operandi of government is to terrify people, although it is obvious that centralised power does benefit from a terrified public. What else?
Green, yes.
The idea that Chris Whitty's
Hi.
observations are ignored.
I had a problem with you too.
You did.
What time is it?
It's 2:45.
I didn't know it was daylight savings either.
That was yesterday.
Right, I didn't know it till today. I thought it was one whatever right now. I talked to you about I don't know if it was Spectrum. Last time I talked to you though, it wasn't,
but Spectrum's starting up again.
Right,
So.
okay. So I didn't know exactly what I needed to come in. So I know you got all my information.
I know, but we still, if it's anything food safety related or anything new, we just anytime there's a new placement, we have to do a new I-9. All right.
That's the theme that runs through. I listed a few things, Russell. You give me a couple of seconds. One is that the public. So if you look, the files reveal that Boris Johnson used public opinion instead of science to decide lockdown.
Something else I wanted to
For instance, the second lockdown, because he thought public opinion for it.
real short.
Okay.
The government spent all this time.
Yeah, you mentioned something about that.
You think if you start
I mean,
This is our first time.
Yeah, well, no, I
public
completely understand that. That's I completely understand that. Probably, I mean, because how much time do you think you're going to be taking if everything goes normal?
Not more than
Well,
Okay.
Hancock was advised to test.
Well, let's get you set up, and then once it's over with, we can start you. Is that how you want to do it? I mean, it's up to you. We could try, but it just doesn't look good on their side if you show up for a few days and then have to be gone for a week. Well, it may fill up, but if I already have you in there, you're one of the ones. So, that's why I want to get you ready now, and then have you on standby for as soon as it happens. So, what are we looking within a week or so that you're due? Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess is the chief minister of
All right. Well, then I guess all I'm going to need right now, we'll have to have you come back and do the safety stuff, but they want the safety stuff done within a few days of your start. You can either do that or, Okay. Well, everything we'll do at once. So, all right. So let's wait for it to happen. As soon as it happens, come in. It's at most an update takes about a half hour. All right. As long as make sure that when you do come in though, you're on time because it's going to matter. ID, an up-to-date ID, and either a social or a birth certificate. Okay. All right. And if you have your own direct deposit, bring that with you too. If not, we can give you a pay card. The chime works. Most of our folks are using that now. You're so tall, man.
It seems that Fauci is becoming more open to the potential lab leak theory. It seems that the narrative is shifting. It appears that overall, perhaps what happened is that centralized governmental interests
that was cute.
and
use the time change
pharmacological
the reason that you're 15 minutes late.
Converged, and where they arrived at was the most.
No, I'm not 15 minutes late. I'm 45 minutes early.
That needn't mean that there was a conspiracy, just that there was a momentum heading in the direction of those types of outcomes. If indeed we can regard science as a subset of corporate interest due to the type of experimentation that takes place.
To me, I said, the snow or something like that. That's something that happened yesterday. I mean, yeah, I'm still in a hangover from the time change. I hate that. I'm hearing that this is going to be like the last time they do it, though. But I haven't seen anything in writing.
What kind of changes need to take place in the governance of the pharmaceutical industry to prevent something like this happening again? Because I'm sure you're aware that there are a lot of people who feel that this situation will be used to establish a precedent, not only for future pandemics, but for future policy. Indeed, the WHO are lobbying, aren't they, for a pandemic response treaty that would enable them to set the terms of response for every nation on earth in the event of another pandemic. What do you think needs to change about the regulation of the science industry or the pharmaceutical industry? And what do you believe needs to change about the unelected globalist organizations like the WHO in order that people aren't needlessly subjected to this kind of thing again?
You raise a lot of good points. Let me just take a couple of them. So, in order. So, one is the lab leak. I heard what you said about Fauci and his excuse for the lab leak. Fauci and the United States NIH sponsored projects to go into those bat caves to bring the viruses out of the bat caves and then bring them into laboratories. So even if he's right, this was the result of a United States sponsored project that Fauci himself signed off on. The whole idea then is now, like, now to get to your second point about the pharmaceutical industry. The whole point of this gain of function kind of exercise was to identify viruses in the wild and then make vaccines
all day today
that can protect against these potential pathogens. It's very closely aligned with pharma interest, absolutely closely aligned, because who makes those vaccines, who benefits from those vaccines. Now I have to say I have like mixed feelings. On one hand, you kind of want to have investments in research, and pharma can do that. That's fine. But it's the job of government to make sure that is done ethically, and it doesn't become this sort of like create a billionaire a day kind of thing, as you pointed out. It needed to be something where there's some adversarial relationship between the government and the pharmaceutical companies. I don't think that they're all bad, the pharmaceutical companies, but the government's job is to make sure that the products that they're putting are actually safe, are actually effective, and they did not do that job very effectively during the pandemic. In fact, quite the opposite. It looked to me
those boots are steel toe too.
That the government's made.
They do require that, so that's good to know.
Captured by the
you already got them,
rather than the other way around. It is it's a deep problem. And as far as the World Health Organization, they failed during this pandemic. Russell, 100 million poor people around the world were thrown into dire poverty, less than $2 a day of less than income. 100 million people were thrown into food insecurity, starving, because of decisions made by the WHO. They made decisions essentially that pushed lockdowns that were adopted around the world. In Uganda, they closed schools for 2 years. And as a result, 4.5 million Ugandan kids never came back to school. A lot of them actually were sold into sexual slavery because their parents were so.
Oh, you missed a page here. No, just a second. Print, sign, and date. Just that upper line there.
More power in the context of another pandemic. First needs to be deep reforms, and absolutely there needs to be some sort of.
That's not bad.
Guarantee that they're going to respect human
Good
rights.
shot,
The next
especially
time
for 10-year-old.
because they sure as heck didn't this time.
Oh, open sights, it's good for anybody, really. At 75 yards.
You're spitting facts all over the place. Who knows what viruses could be entangled in the various spores of truth?
She was going for the thorax. So.
Thank you so much for joining us for this show. I hope you will join us again. I hope that you'll keep up this truthful crusade that you appear to have embarked upon. Has it been personally damaging, exhausting, upsetting, distressing?
It's been exhilarating, and for sure. I mean, it's been very stressful. But on the other hand, we never would have been able to talk to you otherwise. So there are some upsides.
Corner, directly over there.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your diligence. Thank you for being a true servant of science and truth, because Lord alone knows that it's what the world needs. I really appreciate you. You can follow Dr. Bhattacharya on Twitter for his regular updates on COVID, the pandemic, and
so we'll see if
broadly, I think we can all agree it's a perspective
we get knocked for this.
And a reminder that
my last strike was because of something I was playing of his on Rumble.
Heard. What do you think, Gal?
I don't care though.
I didn't like all those children having to go.
Check out the Rumble, because if I get smacked on YouTube, I'll be doing Rumble.
Why have we not been told that on the mainstream news?
I know.
Like when you think about how them Congress folk are chatting to Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberg, a legit journalist. When you think about how Dr. Bhattacharya there, a legit scientist, is being blacklisted and kicked off of Twitter, and when we think about the stuff that gets focused on, you're starting to sort of see a bloody trend.
And their kind of point in that we were watching the video earlier, their point is that Taibbi and Schellenberger were cherry picking the information to kind of suit their narrative. And they were also kind of suggesting that Elon Musk did it for them. But I mean, cherry picking is literally like picking out. I mean,
cherries, delicious cherries.
The Telegraph have done.
I love cherries.
They've gone through, I think it was 40,000 messages of Matt Hancock to reveal the kind of things that have just been revealed about the way in which, first of all, the fact that everyone seems to communicate via WhatsApp in some kind of chatty forum between like government ministers and health ministers deciding on what should be done.
If a pouch lands on the ground, it goes into an animal feed container.
Well, Matt Hancock was using emojis at certain points.
You shouldn't be using emojis,
I mean,
Matt.
It sounds ridiculous, but it just
the wrong tone.
shows the kind of cavalier attitude. Making decisions.
Animal feed container, it's called. It's all those pouches, they'll open them up and give them to like a pig farmer or something like that, so they don't go to waste.
Discern the truth from the fiction, and of course,
no rework. Doesn't matter if it's in a bag or not. It's supposed to go into an animal feed container. Other than that, it looked great, man. When can you get started?
A couple more years. Come on,
tomorrow.
Hey, you know I do stand-up comedy.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yes.
I'm one of the
5 a.m. You know where it's 5 a.m. to 3:30. 4 days a week. So it's Monday through Thursday.
Of our locals community, you already get free access as well as behind-the-scenes shows.
You do second shift then?
Ad-free content over.
That's 3:30 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Interested in a bit of my stand-up. I made some really interesting observations about that Whitmore.
Okay.
Have a look at me in my stand-up.
3:30.
Pandemic, which you get for free if you join up for.
Till 2 a.m.
You can also buy it as a one-off commodity.
As far as the ride back, you might be able to figure something out from guys there or whatnot, but yeah, 3:30 to 2. All right, so tomorrow.
They got fucking wet markets. What do you eat? Domino's, Burger King, McDonald's, fish and chips, stuff like that. Not these fuckers.
Okay, well, they want to know as soon as possible. And I won't write anything down until you tell me something. Yep. It's on the back of the handbook you got there. That's the address is underlined there. You know where Paul's Collision is over on Telegraph? The Enterprise Rent-A-Car down by the Social Security office? Okay, no, it's fine. That address on the back, flip it up, the underlined address. That's it right there. Yeah. You let me know.
Someone give that guy his own show on Rumble, streaming daily. Someone create a membership community where there's a show called Stay Connected, where me and Gav talk about how we make the show, as well as fielding your questions. Someone put on a weekly meditation where we directly address what
it is.
Is it heartbreak? Is it loneliness? Is it despair? Is it not knowing how to combine your spirituality with this oppressive, depressing world that doesn't allow your spirit to flourish and thrive? Someone create a live podcast recording.
Shooting for 40s, that's awesome.
For whoever we have on, Eckhart Tolle, Jordan Peterson, Vandana Shiva. Those things already exist. Join us. It's been done. We created it. Get on on it. There's a little button somewhere on the page. You can press that, and then you can just join up and get all that stuff, including that stand-up show. I hope you enjoy it. Some of you like it. Look at this. Becca D, she says it's bloody brilliant. This person, Zashix, much love to me. This person, Russell, stop promoting your content while we're already consuming your content. No, I made that one up because I felt that it needed to be addressed. Nice. Yeah, I'm self-aware. I'm self-aware. That much I will offer you. 56 minutes, and we've got a few more minutes. Let's do some of that other stuff that we've got.
I'm sorry? The basis for first is 14, but you get $1 differential for second shift, so it's 15 an hour to
They are
start.
separated by geography. There's this thing. Now, you might think that's somehow disgusting, but you haven't seen it move yet, so let's have a look at it move.
Nobody is kissing the in-person kiss goodbye, but chances are nobody has ever kissed you this way through a lip-shaped device that plugs into your phone. The idea is to send someone a kiss long distance. Sensors transmit pressure, movement, and temperature data that's received by another pair of lips.
About tongue.
So your kiss is replicated on their lips.
About
Similar
tongue.
tech for remote kissing first surfaced less than a decade ago with the kiss.
Appalling, awful, not pleasant. It reminds me.
Where can we get them?
Where do you buy those items? No, it's reprehensible. Where's the this thing? Yeah, let's have a look at this, because if you were watching the show prior to our trip to America, you'd have seen this terrifying orifice. Let's have a look. I think that
Oh, wow.
That's reality now.
Yeah.
When I see that, I think it's sort of like for me, it's like a unifying symbol of all of the problems in the world. Rampant technology, dehumanization, over-sexualized.
243 is nice. I like it. I mean, it's
a sort of uncanny loss of our connection to the sublime.
what I grew
all
up
contained
using,
thing.
that or a shotgun, depending on what part of Michigan I was
I
hunting
went
in.
and watched it last time we did this because the tune was better.
You got to be above the parallel to use a rifle.
For next time, because I'll be doing this all the time. We'll find that again for next time. And let's have a look at Donald Trump telling us how he's going to save the world.
Only candidate who can make this promise.
This one, the second one. The second one's better. Go to the second one. Thanks.
Do to stop the war in Ukraine.
So I would literally start calling, not from the day I took over, but from the night I won. And I called two people. You know who the two people are? Putin, right? You know who Putin is? And Zelensky. And I'd say, we're going to meet. We're going to meet. And I guarantee I could work that out. I guarantee. I know exactly what I'd say, by the way. I know exactly. I tell one guy this, and I tell one guy that, and I say, you better make a deal. We would have a deal made in 24 hours.
Maybe Trump's narcissism is our route to global peace, because it is a powerful force. That level of self-belief is sort of astonishing, isn't it?
It is kind of.
One guy this, one guy that.
Yeah, I've got
This-
that faith, if I'm totally honest.
I wonder what would happen. It's almost worth making him president again to see how he handles it.
It's worth a try, isn't it?
I mean, if what's at stake.
World peace, after all.
I mean, given everything we've said about systemic corruption and the inherent inability of the system to deliver to ordinary people, we cannot actively endorse Trump for president.
Sure, but why? What about?
Send him there now.
You know, when you do like a guest week or something, maybe in one of
Like a
Biden's,
host of a show.
Yeah, like Biden's holidays, or when he's
Send him in.
Caught between not being able to say something. Just send Trump in for a week.
There must be a role for Donald Trump in this world, and I think his role is that. I'd like to see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, if Donald Trump is truly a man of faith, then he will, I believe, agree to negotiate world peace just for the sake of it.
Yeah. And he needs literally a day.
He said he only needs a day. Tomorrow it could all be solved.
Incredible.
Oh, wouldn't it be lovely to no more war, freedom, peace for everyone? Fantastic stuff. All right, well, listen, this is our first show back. We've been on a giddy wild ride.
Yeah.
We've experienced all sorts of stuff. We're jet lagged out of our mind. We don't know what time it is. We don't know where we are. We're trying to make. I hope this was a good show.
Super short Magnum,
We're
243.
I've got my nude feet on some sort of a grounding electromat, which I think I started promoting. It's a grounding electromat. And it's a vibrating orifice made of nothing but purest silicone that's responding to the lips of a Japanese boy far away in another land, kissing me to groundedness. Remember, join us on our community. You can get my stand-up.
Yeah, wasting time, Jay Black. This is looks like it's Russell Brand. He's live for today
Tomorrow, not for more of the
on a
same,
delay,
but for more of the different. Until then,
accelerated rate. So.
Switch off. Men switch in. Switch on. Switch off. Switch on. Men switch in. Switch on. Switch off. Men switch in. Switch on. Switch off.
See who he's got going.
Is more resilient and the foundation stronger because of.
So she's unable to say if U.S. banking is safe and secure. And you know what? The market is responding to that. The market is an absolute bloodbath here. Let's toss up what the market is doing. It was down 20 points in intraday trading before the market. Now it's sort of collapsing, and then you're seeing these dips and spikes, dips and spikes, dips and spikes. This is in one day. They've halted trading, essentially all interbank trading. The liquidity is down to zero. What's going on? All of the depositors, roughly 90% in SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, held accounts above the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's $250,000 limit on insurance. Policymakers in those in the financial sector had hoped that backing all deposits would stop the bleeding. But initial signals from this morning were not great. The share price of First Republic Bank, a San Francisco-based lender that serves some of the clientele of SVB,
I got a card with them.
70% at 7 a.m. pre-market trading. The collapse came despite the announcement that it has shored up its
I
finances.
think I have a credit card with
Pac
First
West
Republic Bank.
Corp, another small California bank, said
Let them go under.
investors
I won't
fell
pay it.
sharply on
Let me go
Monday
out and
by
get some shit with
50%.
it.
Prices of long-term treasuries soared. Yesterday evening, the Federal Reserve said that they jointly announced to stop the burgeoning SVB bank crisis by backing all investments. This is an unconstitutional move. They have no right to do this. The same was made for Signature Bank in New York, which had been wobbly since the SVB collapse. It was closed.
Signature Bank. That's who we do most of our payroll through.
Bank collapses in 3 days. A third bank failure in the week, Silvergate Bank. But Silicon Valley Bank, of course, is the largest bank collapse in American history, with the exception of the 2008 housing market crisis. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing here is a bank that was a rich people bank, a bank for high wealth, high net worth earners, who's essentially been bailed out entirely by you, by the federal government, and bailed out instantly. Now, if you live in East Palestine and the federal government covered you and your children in toxic chemicals that will kill you and give you cancer in a few years, well, you get nothing. Pete Buttigieg won't even visit you. It takes Donald Trump to come visit you. But if you are a close proximity to power, woke corporation from Silicon Valley that is far more interested in virtue signaling than your shareholders, far more interested in ESG than banking or DEI, in the skin color of the people who have money, than actually protecting people's money, something that should be colorblind, banking, well then, ladies and gentlemen, you get a bailout. And your congressman is straight up on TV asking for a bailout. Ro Khanna, this weekend, on television, saying, you can't bail us out. What'll happen if we go down to our last billions? Oh, East Palestine? Never heard of it. Watch.
I think it's just that right now things move at the speed of Twitter, and the government doesn't move at that speed. And I think they don't realize what the problem could be of how fast money is moving and the challenge this could be.
So he's asking now for a full bailout, and they got it. They got their bailout, but it didn't stop the bleeding. Shares plummet 74% in pre-market trading of banks, despite Biden's guarantee, a scheme for Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. So you are now facing massive, massive bank failures across America. How did this happen, and why did this happen? It's really, really important to go through the why here. Silicon Valley Bank was a massive holder of U.S. Treasury T-bills. These bills that they bought into the tune of billions were bought at an interest rate of effectively zero during the coronavirus pandemic and when the federal government was trying to insert liquidity into the market. Now, as the federal government ratchets up the interest rates at the highest rate increases in American history, that I, of course, am in favor of, what that is going to do is it's going to cause these T-bills to lose value. And Silicon Valley Bank effectively sold their investments at a loss, a $2 billion loss. Now, that $2 billion loss is not something that banks should do. This doesn't make any sense. The investors and the people who held their money at Silicon Valley Bank. And the VC firms that were overwhelmingly using that bank as a funding mechanism started to look into the finances of that bank and started to question whether that bank had anything on its balance sheet at all. And they were beginning to advise their clients in Silicon Valley, which moves very, very quickly, to perhaps remove your money from this bank. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that started happening to the tune of billions of dollars. And what you started to realize was that 95% of all deposits were uninsured. What that means is that 95% of all deposits were over the $250,000 range that the federal government insures through the FDIC. Now, this is, of course, high net worth individuals. The average American has $10,000 in cash available to themselves. The people of East Palestine, for instance, have a net worth of $41,000 a person on average. So what you're talking about is multimillionaires in Silicon Valley who had this bank as a backstop, and this bank was run by total and complete idiots. These people do not care about banking. There's a very lengthy piece in Axios about how they could have prevented this and how they made stupid decisions, selling their T-bills at a massive loss, and spooked all of their customer base, leading to a bank run. That bank run, of course, caused all of the liquidity to flow out of the bank instantly, and they had no more money. And then the bank collapsed, and that's how banks collapse. Ladies and gentlemen, why did Silicon Valley Bank collapse? Well, the $2 billion loss, in large part, from the selling of the T-bills, but also because they were woke. This bank, ladies and gentlemen, spent far more time making diversity hires than making hires of people that were actually ever good at banking, as Tucker Carlson illuminated in his monologue last Friday. Tucker Carlson dove into what this bank was up to and delivering on their fiduciary obligations for their shareholders and for their depositors was at the very bottom of the list. Promoting women of color and celebrating their stories.
Rings 2 times.
Special videos going to Tahoe just a couple of weeks ago. Their CEO was in Tahoe celebrating empowered women. Wait,
No.
your bank is in collapse. Shouldn't you be, I don't know, trying to stave that off, meeting with all of the people who are high net worth depositors?
No, they're selling their own
making sure there's not
investments
a bank
in
run?
it.
Nope. Time for us to be victims in Tahoe at a ski resort. Watch. Tucker, take it away.
What we can say tonight is that SVB, like the scammers at FTX, had quite the public relations department. We're not some greedy finance outfit that exists solely to generate cash for overpaid sleazeballs who run it. Yo, that's not us. We may be a bank. We've got the soul of an NGO. We care. We're saving the world. And to prove it, there's a whole page on SVB's website about their plans to, quote, monitor and reduce our own carbon emissions. Yes, because you want a bank that cares about carbon emissions. And of course, there's endless posturing, because it's all free, about diversity.
Yeah, it's like Windows has a, on the update page has a little, we're trying to do this greener now.
On LinkedIn just 3 weeks before the bank collapsed. Quote, feeling inspired and energized after hosting an extraordinary group of pioneering and dynamic women at Silicon Valley Bank's female founder and VC Tahoe ski retreat. Boy, adjectives are free. They use a bunch of them. And then she attached pictures of the ski trip, showing the group of these pioneering and dynamic female bankers having a great time. Because, of course, they're having a great time, because few things are more empowering to oppressed female bankers than skiing in Tahoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Unusual Whales, before the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, the CEO sold $3.5 million in stock in the last 2 weeks. This guy needs to be in a seat in front of
people
Congress.
robbing the bank just to make withdrawals of their own money. That's crazy.
The CEO was far more interested in, and we can put the tweet up.
Rumble, I love it.
Here, sent the tweet to Rolls Royce. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to see the balance sheet. It's not just the CEO. The chief management officer, chief marketing officer, general counsel,
DiStefano is
and
going to be
other
in Kill Tony
executives
tonight.
sold their trading plans with millions on the balance sheet. Tens of millions, if you add them all up. In the 2 weeks before the collapse, they knew this was happening. They knew that woke capital was garbage. They took their depositors to the cleaners.
What's your name, sir?
Sir, what's your name? Sir, can I get your name, please?
This is Butt Crack News Network.
And that's all I needed to know too.
Sir, can I get your name and badge number, please?
I didn't know that they're. I figured since they were deputies.
So weird to see you.
Okay. Hi. What's up?
I was wondering if you had any opening
The Vectrum?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one over on Telegraph? Yeah,
Day shift or
both. What are you interested in? Okay, all right. All right. When you gonna have time to sit down with me and go through the in-processing process?
we can do it now. Good.
Well, it's Monday. I'm doing payroll for everyone. Can you tomorrow, 2:00 here?
Yeah.
What's your name?
David, my favorite.
David. Have you worked with us before?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. My name's Lauren.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Did you get one of my cards upstairs? You did. Cool.
I was calling the card and they told me.
I kept answering. I was like, hello. Nobody's there. No big deal. 2:00 tomorrow. Just make sure you have your ID with you and either a social or a birth certificate. Just so we can do the I-9.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we can get you working the next day. Yep.
Oh my God. $60 when you're already in the fucking building? Like, come on, dude.
So they want us to go to jail.
So that means if
Then they want us to go walk around the courthouse and find the other.
well, if we don't want to, we have to.
Or we can just look at their address.
So 20. Well, yeah, and that's why we exactly because we can't go through all this bullshit, you know, like. So what we got 20 subpoenas times $60 per subpoena. That's $1,200. $1,200.
This is already why I'm serving them myself, so I don't have to pay.
You know, dude, I'm just laughing because it's so corrupt.
I know.
Like they want $1,200 to hand some subpoenas over. Oh my God! Like you have to laugh at that corruption because if you take it seriously, it's pretty fucked up.
I still think they're all shares.
Dude, do you remember when I told you it's ain't gonna take 2 minutes? But yeah, dude, it's some good footage. You know, we get some good footage of some butthurt feelings officers. Is she serving subpoena? What? Are you serving a subpoena, ma'am?
Huh?
Are you serving a subpoena?
No, I was to get a
Okay, never mind. We're serving subpoenas. We're serving subpoenas, and they're giving us $1,200 to hand over a stack of papers. Revenue collectors. I think we might have to subpoena him. Do a traffic stop on him to subpoena him.
Yeah, it would be. That would be a wheelbarrow full.
Dude, seriously, $60 a subpoena when you're in the same fucking building. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Did you guys find that funny? $60 per subpoena? God damn. Revenue collection.
That's the whole reason why I'm going to
Valley that support their communist ideology. I'm calling them out on all of it. Beautiful segment here. Go.
But this is an irresponsible, reckless bank. But it's and let's be clear. The American public must know. Every account in this country is insured to $250,000. Every single account. This was not about bailing out small accounts, regular Americans. The mean bank account in this country is $41,000. You want to go by, so if you look at, for instance, the average bank account for someone without a high school diploma, $9,000. But bachelor's degree, $79,000. This is another bailout of the elites. This is a bailout of Silicon Valley, the same Silicon Valley that just brought us Sam Bankman-Fried. The Silicon Valley that for 20 years grew companies privately to exorbitant valuations, outrageous valuations, and then foisted them on the public at even higher valuations. They had made so much money. I mean, only the Saudi Arabian princes can deal with the amount of money that they've made. Who do you think bids against each other for the world's biggest yacht? Who bought the Maltese Falcon? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. So
good for Charles Payne, a proper populist there. Yes, this is the bailout of the rich at the expense of the poor. Now, our friend David Sachs, who is a big-time investor and a very, very wise and very based individual, is arguing that the people that put their money inside of Silicon Valley Bank are faultless here. They were simply good faith depositors inside of a bank. And I suppose there's some credit to that. But it still is factually true that these people didn't move a finger to help out East Palestine. They moved at the speed of light and sound, ladies and gentlemen, in order to help out their friends in Silicon Valley. And where does that tell you their priorities are? Well, it's certainly not in helping you, and it's certainly not in securing your finances. Unless you're a hedge fund investor in Silicon Valley and you're watching the show, I guess welcome.
All right.
Jimmy Kimmel.
My body is my temple. That's why I start every morning with a brisk aerobic workout. But I can't do it alone. Workouts are easier when you have a partner. My workout partner is my maid, Marguerite. Marguerite's soft brown stomach protects my knees and ankles from unnecessary wear and tear.
Not too much longer, mi sopra, okay?
That means shut up in Spanish.
Chinese people with them little heads and feet, smiling all the time, passing out free cookie with word in it to Carmelo after he eat. Don't think y'all can fool Carmelo with no cookie. Carmelo love cookie, that's true, but he don't need no magic word inside his cookie food. Tell us what you think of the statue. I mean, do you think that she's attractive?
Puppy trip was awesome. I'll show you some pictures. We did put the deposit down. We're going back April 15th to pick him up.
Or not? Take another look at it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it is another disastrous Oscars season, and viewership continues to be what we could only really describe as it's like a disappearing at the most rapid rate imaginable.
I didn't even know it was happening until
Jimmy Kimmel, one of the most unlikable characters in the world, getting absolutely dragged on social media over several incidents at the event last night. And by the way, nobody was watching. Viewership in the tank, and also forced to go up against The Last of Us, which even made it worse. Debuting a ridiculous Little Mermaid trailer and about nothing else, has nobody talking about it, and I couldn't be happier. Now, look, you see this article here. People aren't watching the Oscars and other award show. Increasingly, are they just for elites?
It's always been just for the elites.
If we look at this article leading up to the Oscars, in recent years, viewership of this ritzy event has plummeted.
Oh, nice.
Statistics revealed that a while in 2000, 46 million people watched. Viewership has steadily declined. In 2021, the show hit its lowest amount of viewers it had in 2 decades at 10.4 million viewers. To me, like, a lot of people are saying, okay, that's more than a 75% decline from its previous numbers. But I'm still shocked it was 10 million.
Yeah, me too.
Viewership recovered slightly at
inflated.
15.36 million in 2022. I mean, that's a 50% increase. I'd say that's relevant. But it was still much lower than it had been Historically, the decadence of the award show may be to blame during a time of economic struggle, but it might also be the prevalence of the award shows and the shift from movie-going to streaming. Matthew Gilbert gave 2 reasons in his article on the subject of the Boston Globe. The Academy Awards come towards the end of a long award season, so it's a possible reason, but other award shows aren't faring well either. This year, the Grammys had their 3rd worst viewership in history. According to Statista, millions of viewers have stopped watching the show. Maybe because people are disillusioned with these award shows because old Hollywood glamour is gone. Now Hollywood is giving more and more excess. Well, I mean, quite frankly, this is just the truth of it. You see right here in 2023, the new numbers. In 2023, 12.4 million Americans watched the Grammys. So another drop last year. The figure marked an increase from previous year, but still represented the 3rd smallest TV audience in the history. 3rd smallest in the history. The Grammy Awards have suffered viewer losses for the better part of a decade. The show's rankings peaked last in 2012 when an estimated 39 million people tuned in to watch music's busy night. This is the Grammys. Okay, so when you look at the Grammys, that obviously did not go well. And when you look at the Oscars, it's the same thing.
Right.
If you look at even their numbers from 2022, around 15.3.
Goodwill's nice, but if you have like
the
a
Academy Awards ceremony,
Salvation
Oscar
Army or
viewership
something that's
fluctuates
around
year by
it,
year.
they
However,
actually-
last time the ceremony
they're
drew a U.S.
nonprofit.
audience more than 40
Goodwill's
million was
straight
back in
for-profit.
2014. The figure recorded in 2021 was the lowest yet and marked a
Yeah,
drop off
you
of
buy
over
from there.
50% from just the previous year's audience. Nobody cares about these rich elites. Remember, especially now more than ever, you have all of these people, wear a mask or you're the worst human on earth. Well, Colbert, get the poke or you're the worst human on earth. My body, my choice, but not with this. Cram it in there. Side effects be danged because Stephen Colbert told you to, or Jimmy Kimmel got up on stage and fake cried about it, or any one of these other late night shills who take Pfizer money all did. But then Kimmel last night, quote, "One of the worst things I've ever seen, Jimmy Kimmel branded a national disgrace after harassing a survivor of the tally at the 2023 Oscars with awkward question and the Coke Bear stunt. Like everything they do falls flat. Jimmy Kimmel branded a national disgrace after fans claim he harassed the survivor Malala Yousafzai during a bizarre Oscars segment. The host 55 left the Nobel Peace Prize winner 25 visibly uncomfortable as he approached her during the break in proceedings and asked her an awkward question about Harry Styles and Chris Pine. The presenter read out the question from a fan named Joanne saying, "Hey," she asked, "your work on human rights and education for women and children is inspiring, as it is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. Do you think Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine?" Malala looked confused and responded, "I only talk about peace." A breezy Kimmel retorted, "You know what? That's why you're Malala and no one else is. That's a great answer. The winner is Malala Land, everybody." Then the evening took an even further awkward turn as an attendee dressed in a real-life Coke Bear from the movie crawled down the island and began to pester Malala. He called out, "Oh, the bear, leave Malala alone." The activist looked on with worry. Malala was a teenage education activist. When the Pakistani tally hunted her down, they stopped her school bus and gave her face a lead injection back in 2012. She survived and 2 years later won the Nobel Peace Prize. So fans quickly took to social media to slam Kimmel's disrespectful behavior. One writing, "I love Jimmy Kimmel, but his interaction with Malala was one of the worst and most painful things I've ever seen on TV." Another wrote, "I was absolutely horrified with the interaction between Jimmy Kimmel and Malala. Jimmy, you were incredibly disrespectful." Another one, right? "Jimmy is a national disgrace. This woman deserves better." While a second wrote, "Why did Jimmy Kimmel and the bear just harass Malala on TV? Oh my God, leave her alone." Another one, "I hope Jimmy Kimmel pays for making Malala answer that question. She deserves better than that." I mean, the whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. Nothing funnier than the Oscars cutting off a winner, thanking his family for support by cutting to Jimmy Kimmel making bear jokes to Malala. Kimmel's a joke. That wasn't funny at all. I mean, like, I mean, there's a lot of people. And she replied back, treat people with kindness. So she kind of got the last laugh there. But here, viewers savage 2023 Oscars, cheap, dirty champagne-colored carpet, airport Hilton. So even they're trying. The thing is, like, they're trying to not, probably trying to like simmer it down a little bit so people don't, call them elitist so much. But it's like, our armchair pundits were less than impressed with the drastic change taken into our turnover, finally getting around to tuning into the Oscars for the red carpet coverage. WTF is a champagne carpet? No, it looks horrible. Another claimed the carpet made the event look drab, declaring, okay, the champagne carpet at the Oscars is terrible. They look like they're attending a corporate banquet at an airport Hilton. The third vexed viewer claimed the color was chosen by closer to boring beige than chic. I mean, I don't really know or care what these losers walk on, but this is your average. This is like your average Oscars viewer. So even like the woke, celebrity obsessed people hate it. They tried to shake things up for the first time in 60 years, and it absolutely backed things up. You see, 2023 Oscars users aren't holding back their thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel as a host. For the 95th Annual Academy Awards, late night superstar Jimmy Kimmel was tapped for hosting. Jimmy Kimmel's delivery is a bit off, wrote Twitter user. He needs to slow down. The sentiment was echoed by other people who said this host was confused in his delivery. We need other people pushing Jimmy Kimmel off stage at the Oscars just for fun. Others were not pleased with Jimmy Kimmel's hurtful jokes. While the Oscars never shied away from calling out some of Hollywood's duds, misfires, and bad movies, some viewers thought the comedian's jab at Damien Chazelle's Babylon went too far. Get Jimmy off the stage. I draw the line at Babylon slander. Shared, gonna start Jimmy Kimmel a hate train for Babylon diss. Some viewers even went up and suggested that Kimmel bombed his monologue. Jimmy Kimmel needs to shut up. How many more years must we be subjected to Jimmy Kimmel? In response to the comedian's Oscar gig, Kimmel also was called by Indian film critics for labeling Triple R as a Bollywood production. I don't hear Jimmy Kimmel incorrectly call RRR a Bollywood movie. By the way, yeah, it was a very, very good movie. Focus on the movies, not on Kimmel. So everyone basically hates Jimmy Kimmel, and it's not a surprise. He's easily the slimiest, most hateable person on the planet, and ultimately, you just love to see it. As somebody who's outside, like, I was watching old reruns of King of Queens. By the way, show still holds up. Obviously, it's very formulaic, but it does make me laugh. I was watching that and just enjoying myself as the Oscars went on. Nobody cares about, out of desperation, he addressed the slap, and even that wasn't very funny. He admitted that they hired a, quote, crisis team to keep the Academy looking good in case of an emergency. Was he get through the evening without distracting, unplanned hijinks, like obviously Will Smith. He even talked about, Kimmel did roast the audience about not doing anything, while it was happening, just sitting back and being shocked. What would you expect Hollywood people to do in that situation anyway? Kimmel, who has hosted twice before and runs a generally uncontroversial late-night talk show, must have seemed like a safe choice, notwithstanding having intruded upon
uncontroversial
Quintina Brunson's Emmy acceptance speech in September. So, yeah, not a good look. Nobody really cares. Viewership, again, way down, almost certainly a record low. And that's going to continue because it's the Oscars. The Oscars suck. Jimmy Kimmel sucks. Hollywood elites suck. There's nothing good about this show other than laughing at how much of a failure it is. And that's exactly what we do here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below. We're really close to 1.5 million subscribers. It'll be awesome to earn your subscription. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Sorry, guys. Oh, fuck. Shit's hitting the fan all of a sudden.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quarter. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful Saturday. That's right, I'm doing videos on Saturday again. A lot of people have been emailing me and saying, like, bro, we need some news on Saturdays. And, well, here I am. Now, it's no surprise that the left loves to kind of over-exaggerate, to, go a little bit wacky with their various outrage levels. But this particular story kind of is so absurd that it kind of changes the definition of words. This is coming out of Fort Lauderdale, but certainly not the first time we've seen something like this. Hit by hate. Fort Lauderdale police search for suspect who left tire marks on a pride flag emblazoned crosswalk. First of all, you'd have to prove that they never left a burner anywhere else, and that it looks pretty clear to me that there are multiple tire marks in this. And, well, this is Florida. Some argue the incident was not hateful. It was literal tire marks on the road. I mean, if you pick a spot and you draw something that offends somebody and they drive over it, is it also hateful? A video captured on February 28th shows a black Ford F-250 leaving tire marks on an LGBTQ pride flag crosswalk. By the way, it shouldn't exist. Shouldn't be there. Government funds should not be spent on this if that's what they're doing. Some media outlets are calling an act of hate. Well, I hate, the media. I hate having this crap, shoved down everyone's throat all the time. But I don't hate the people that are part of this group. The progress flag crosswalk was painted and revealed in mid-February. Here's
hit by hate when a man leaves.
Hit by hate.
A community hit by hate when a man leaves tire marks all over a pride flag painted on an intersection. Residents around the area speaking out in disgust. 7's Danielle Garcia is live in Fort Lauderdale with more on the search for that driver. Danielle, good morning.
The community here is saddened, as you mentioned, but they are planning to redo it. In fact, the cleanup process has already begun.
This is what they're spending taxpayer dollars on, putting it on the road. And by the way, if you could put a pride flag on the road, why are there not, I don't know, what about the straight pride flag? You think that, how long do you think that would stay unsullied? Security footage showed a passenger recording the driver causing the damage, and police are now searching for both vehicles. This is what the local police are worried about. Must be a really safe city to live in. Fort Lauderdale Police Chief Lynn expressed concern about the incident and vowed to gather more information surrounding the vandalism. I'm not exactly sure what the vandalism is here. Tires leave rubber on the road all the time. People do burnouts everywhere. Are they giving out tickets for that? Now, of course, a similar incident occurred in Delray Beach back in 2021. The cost of repairing the damages for the mural estimated around $1,000. Why is it in the road at all? Put it in a museum then. The incident gathered attention online. Some arguing that this incident was not hateful. It was literal tires on the road. One user argued, even if you don't agree with the flag being there, hitting a burnout deliberately clearly shown over it is in fact an act of defiance against the community, likely driven by anger or outrage against what the mural stands for. And I don't see how this isn't a community hit by hate. Another user countered, and if somebody painted, oh, here you go. If somebody painted a straight pride flag on the road, what would happen? And exactly. LGBTQ quote unquote activists, but what I mean is rich white kids, would destroy it. It isn't hate, it's sick and tired. They aren't fighting against grown adults doing their thing. They're fighting against it being shoved into everything and calling it hate, even if you simply disagree, they concluded. Another commenter said, being different and not actively supporting a political ideology does not equal hate. This is just an attempt to politically checkmate opposition. Unfortunately, people have been letting it work for too long. And a lot of people, there's a big movement in the conservative world now to just kind of treat fire with fire, and it's too early. I have been, kind of on the, I've been nervous about that, but I mean, sometimes I guess you just let people do things for too long. There's like this line I saw in a YouTube clip. I think it was Mr. In Between or something like that, where like this guy's in anger management, and he says, the therapist says to this guy, "Hey, why did you punch this guy or something like that?" And he's like, "Because he was an a-hole." And the therapist says, "Well, there are a-holes all over the place." And then his reply is something like, "That's because everyone keeps letting them do that." And I mean, you want to put your flag up in your home? That's fine. You want to make, people drive over it in public? I think that's a very different thing, and people are allowed to protest that. In fact, one could argue that this is this gentleman's freedom of speech. The Fort Lauderdale Progress mural was repaired by a cleanup crew, and they're asking for tips. I mean, this isn't like, and what's funny is if you come here, the Rainbow Flag Street and Fort Lauderdale saga continues. A group of young adults vandalized the LGBTQ flag with their bikes days after the city repainted the street because a man destroyed it with his truck.
And now there's even more video. The latest incident shows a group vandalizing the mural with their bikes. One guy appears to stop and record the damage he caused too.
What is the
and
damage?
Now there's even more video. The latest incident shows
What? They put a skid mark with their tire? What is this? What is this? What is this? Why is the city using taxpayer money to vandalize the taxpayer-funded streets with political statements? Become ungroomable. Yeah, shout out, kids. No, you can't just drive on the flag we painted on the street. And also, the length of that double line does not follow the DOT standard. So now you might cause an accident there. You see here, one group wants to leave their mark in a public street, and that's okay. Another group wants to leave their mark on the street as well, but that's not okay. More liberal hypocrisy. Shouldn't be there in the first place. If you don't want people to drive on your flag, don't paint it on the street. It's usually a crime to put drawings like this on the street unless it corresponds with current far-left intersectional religion. Then the city does it with your tax dollars. I mean, what if somebody wanted to put, their straight pride flag, or let's say they invented another, if there was a flag for homophobia, or I'm anti-LGBT, my gender is anti-LGBT. Would that be worth a flag that was painting? All these type of things. So these people can't drive on a flag that's painted on the road where people drive. Oh my God, the horror. I can't believe people rode their bikes over it. I mean, this is one of the dumbest, and I hope people keep doing it. I hope people keep throwing paint on it. I hope people keep putting skid marks on it. I hope people keep, I'm not telling anyone to do that. I would never do that. But it's like, what is the point here? Why are you, are you kidding me? You're filming kids putting skid, good. A whole ruffian gang of kids. What about these horses? What are we gonna do about these?
Mounted police force. Oh, I don't like the colour. Don't like the colour. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
They don't like the pride flag.
Homophobic horses.
The animal kingdom knows. I mean, this is the, animals can sense danger. I mean, Fort Lauderdale police searching for driver who defaced plague. Why is it on the street? Why is it on the street if you don't want people to drive on it? If this is what they're spending your tax dollars on, then
That's in Fort Lauderdale?
I completely support, peaceful protest.
I'd understand
I would think putting a little rubber from the back seat of your back tire of your car or bicycle or tricycle would probably qualify as that. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the videos. If you want me to keep doing videos on Saturday, please let me know down in the comment section down below. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below. I'd love to see your comments on this. It's pretty hilarious, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
MCC from earlier. I'm so mad that they didn't tell me they were going to be in town. Not that bad. Still.
This Michigan Constitutional Crusader out here with Tater Tot Press at the Monroe County Health Department. We're going to see what they think. See if they understand how HIPAA works, or if they want to claim that we're violating HIPAA, like most of them do.
Yeah, I like his intro.
No, I don't need any help, thanks.
Can I help you? Hi.
Hi.
It's a public building. Do you guys need some help or you just
Nope,
want to?
we're good.
What's going on? A public, because it's a public building.
Correct.
You want to come in and video.
Yep.
More than happy to help you out in any way.
No, we don't need any help. And don't worry, we won't try to collect any data from your customers, patients, whatever you want to call them. Yep.
Where is the Monroe Health Building?
Cubicles.
Custer Road, over by the high school.
It's all cubicles.
Yeah, this isn't the public side.
Yeah, we're not in there. We can read. Jeez. They're having a powwow. Oh, look, we got a cam back from a Darren. Isn't that special?
What kind of, do you see stuff only? Excuse me, sir.
Did you fart?
Did you see stuff only? This is says stuff only. Are you staff?
I'm not in there, am I?
You are.
No,
With
I'm
your
not.
picture. No, your picture. You need to read the stuff only.
No.
And
You're
you cannot do
incorrect.
that.
He can't, I know, he's just holding it up because so they can hear us probably. They just want to hear us talk and watch us. But you have to have gotten everything on this side of the building by now. It's so bad.
Interesting.
His biggest, he's getting better. His biggest photography issue is that he leaves it zoomed when he's panning around, man. That makes me nauseous.
Family planning.
you're not client, correct?
Yeah, and I'm not in there, correct?
We respect clients. You would be wished to respect.
Quit vaping. Yeah, quit vaping.
No, I don't need any help, thanks.
Say that again?
I don't need any help, thanks.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. They got a blown up x-ray on the wall back there. That's pretty trippy.
It's 3 degrees. Huh? 30 degrees.
Sir, please. Now you're interrupting. Now you're targeting the privacy of our clients.
No, I'm not.
And that's not okay. You are. This
No,
says
I'm not.
staff only, no admittance.
Yeah, I'm not in there.
And you're not, you know what?
What?
This is really not okay.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm gonna call the sheriff right now. I know that there's a public building that they're here, but I'm gonna let them know.
Oh, came back, Karen.
She knows how to flip this.
Hold it sideways? Yeah. She knows how to get the better picture, that's for sure.
again, it depends on what you're trying to get a picture.
Right. You gotta go wide angle for my fat ass.
Oh, it's beautiful picture. I can send it to you.
Okay. It's funny. Come here. Do you see any clients through this window? Tater tot. Tater tot.
You cannot, listen, stop all.
Do you see any clients? I don't see any clients. All I see is signage. That's all I can see.
There is a
See that?
client who doesn't need
Only
this.
signage. No clients.
No respect, correct? Guys. So, what did I tell you? Stop only. Okay?
Yes.
It's not so good, I just like want to sniff.
It is Pharmacy. It's the name of the company that makes it. Far with an F.
Yeah.
Pharmacy. And I looked at the name. It started with an A. I already forgot it.
It smells so good.
Yeah. I told my wife that you liked it.
Yes, some gay girls come and sniff me out. Thanks. Because they cannot hear what you're saying. Okay? Thank you.
That one just slipped out.
Yeah. Why is this dude wearing a dress?
Well, like I was saying, you can't see nothing through that window.
Because the idiocracy set in.
All I could see was the signage in there. Well, that lady ran. That was funny.
I remember seeing wet water. Yeah. Jones Cove.
So, yeah, so you got that. Sounds good.
Alrighty. See, they just made us stay here longer because they called the sheriff. So now we can't leave. Gotta wait for the sheriff. They nip themselves in the butt.
Butt nip.
They would have just kept it casual. We'd have been in and out. But you want to call the sheriff? We got to hang out. He went and got a picture of my license plate. Ooh, I'm so scared.
One of the most photographed license plates in Michigan. Yeah, I'm about to kill this pretty soon. Do some more work. I just wanted to play my my Russell for the morning.
Oh, see, look. They messed up on the professionalism and the respect part. They messed up on two of their values there. The respect, the professionalism, oh yeah, and the attitude. You know, 3 of them.
See you, Doug.
Right.
Presenting pretty good humor.
Right.
There are some big banks that are on the top there, though. I seen a list of the biggest banks and their percentage of loss in the last week. There's some big banks that had some at least 20% losses. So.
I need to move this way, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, but I don't want to bump into you.
Oh, here, I'll get in this cubby. Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing back here. Probably gonna need to come up
Okay.
and go to the front area up here, sir.
Well, there's stuff back here.
Got people working.
Yep.
Come on up.
Hi.
No.
He tried to passive aggressively blocking. That was nice. That was about 17 minutes.
Have a good night, Norm.
You too.
Having fun? Having fun today? No?
Yes, but
I'm not going to try and record that stuff. Have a good day.
That's more aggressive, right? Oh, 2 G's and S's. Okay. Oops. Transparent.
Trying to tell me to come out of this hallway.
Right.
Yeah, time for some window shopping. Oh, and they left them wide open. Yeah, left them wide open. Well, yeah, there's a set of computer screens we could zoom in on right there in that office.
Fucking filthy windows, man.
Right there. Are we? Oh, yeah. Hi. There's somebody. Right there.
Mr. McDonald, what happened to you, dude?
Bye-bye.
Look at that desk. They left all kinds of stuff there that we could see around.
Cat turd.
Hello, hello, hello. Today is Monday, March 13th, 2023, episode number 285. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you know when we go live. You're in the litter box with Jules and Cat Turd. Hey there, Cat. How are ya?
Hey, hey, hey.
How goes it over there today?
I'm tired. I've been up storms all night. Lord.
Oh, boy.
Man, there was the right north, like if I didn't get it near as bad as if I was just 20 miles north, I would have been right where kind of I-10 is.
Right.
That goes across the top part of the north part of Florida. So really 40 miles away from me. But man, I tell you, there was some severe, like hell, golf ball size hell, tornado watches for 18 hours. And it was a weird, normally it comes up from the Gulf, so it was going a weird way. But eventually my luck ran out last night about 7, and it stormed all 12 hours all night. And man, you just can't sleep with thunder and lightning so loud it knocks you out of the bed.
Oh, yes. Oh, the weather has been crazy. I mean, look at what's happening in California. I never thought in my lifetime I would see snow in LA. I mean, come on.
I know.
Yeah, but that global warming,
Mm-hmm.
really scary stuff there.
That global warming's cold sometimes.
It is, and my ground was shaking, but unfortunately it had to do with the Oscars and the Academy Awards last night. So of course that was all over the place. All of my streets were completely blocked off. You had all the chaos and confusion. Yes, but there are storms a brewing for sure. Biden's bank collapse is the name of today's show. And
wait, did you hear when we're talking about it? Did you hear Harry and
oh, they canceled their party. Yes.
Yeah, they were going to go to the awards, and then they had this big soiree. It's a soiree if the rich people have it. It's just a party if poor people have it.
Oh,
so anyway, yeah, they had us playing, and they're so distraught about their banking collapse. Who puts all their money in one bank? If you got $50 million and you put all in one bank with a $250,000 guarantee, you got to be an idiot.
I know it. I know. Well, you would think smart people that have all this smart money would know that they need to spread this stuff out. They have no idea, but they know that Biden's going to take care of them.
Where's the cool spot to put your money? Oh, we got the woke bank over here. They believe in climate change and trans rights.
Give me a break.
Put it in there. It's all the cool people go. I said yesterday, though, if you think this government's going to let that bank, which is the Hollywood stars, the elites, the Oprah's in there, Harry, all those people. If you think they're going to let their money just disappear,
they're not. They're going to take
What do
care
they
of
do?
them.
They give all their money to the Democrat Party. They're not going to let that happen.
Of course not. No. They will be perfectly fine. We the people will pick up the tab, don't you
Yeah.
know? We always do.
Mhm. They're paying themselves $36 million a year up there, the CEOs, and we're going to have to bail them out. Man, that makes me mad. And they just abuse the money. I mean, okay, they got $200 billion in deposits. Where did it go? Why aren't they running it like a business instead of a woke corporation? Why they know that business goes up and down, the economy goes up and down. You got to save for a rainy day. You can't just stretch yourself out. So you got all this money. You got to put away enough in case something like this happens.
I completely agree. But here's the deal. I mean, it's their party. We weren't invited, but we got to pick up that tab. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's the way
They're
this
not
whole
gonna let-
thing works.
If you want to talk about a scum ass government we got, they send $200 billion to Ukraine. They're giving iPhones to 5 million illegals crossing every year. Border wide open. They're paying hundreds of billions to Ukraine, hundreds of billions there. And now they're going to bail out $200 billion for the rich snotty bank. And they give zero to the poor people in East Palestine, Ohio.
Oh, exactly.
These people are scumbags. I don't even know what to say about them.
They are. It's beyond incompetence at this point.
Yeah. You like that one, don't you?
It is my absolute favorite. Oh my gosh, are you kidding
It's not
me?
hard. I mean, let's say you got $1 million in cash. Okay, what do you do with it? You put it in one bank with 250,000, or you put it in 4 banks with 250,000, and then your $1 million in cash is covered. I mean, God, they're supposed to be these smart people, and they can't figure anything out.
No. They really are not that smart, actually. They are all about themselves. See, when you start recognizing, and I think people are starting to put it together, the government doesn't really care about you. They care about themselves. As soon as it affects them and their rich friends and everything else, then all of a sudden it's a problem. You have attention being put on these things. They have been able to run the board completely because of all the arms that are engaged here. You've got the media that works full time for them. Fortunately enough, you've got Tucker Carlson, who is also waking up and had a great interview about the fact that, oh my goodness, I've been listening to these people my entire life. And now, hat tip to the conspiracy theorists, you've been right about absolutely everything. And people are starting to wake up and they're coming to the same conclusion. It is absolutely ridiculous that this government has been able to run the board completely, but they've done so with a lot of help. Now, all of a sudden, the tides are turning. You've got Elon Musk, you've got Tucker Carlson, you've got all these other people that are saying, hey, something's wrong with this system. What's going on here? And how do we fix it? Well, there is so much corruption in DC. I mean, you can't even get to the bottom and the root of the cause unless you're going to get rid of it all. That's where we are. Every single institution in our government is completely corrupt to the core. It's been set up that way. All these bureaucrats just move from one area to another area, to a pharmaceutical company and back again. This is how it works. This is how it's always worked.
Look, I called them the rob Peter to pay Paul today, and I did a tweet, and it's true. Everything they do is to kick the can.
Why the fuck would they ask for these numbers and then not put them in here?
I mean, every single thing they've done is manufactured fake, and I'm telling you, this could be a Great Depression situation. This could be total collapse. So remember that song, "Total Collapse of the Heart"?
I think it was an eclipse, but I think total collapse.
I knew something was wrong. So I know. I'm just messing with you.
Well,
but anyway, so
I think we should do one.
I mean, the gas prices spike.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to rob the oil reserve. So it looks like they're going down, but it's really fake. And then that's going to end up cost me. Inflation, when inflation numbers they put out, what do they not add to it? Gasoline, energy, and food.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use all day? 90% of food and energy.
Exactly.
Okay. We had two negative quarters of negative growth in a row, which has always been a recession. Just change the definition of a recession. Just say it's not one. That's them. The crime stats come out. Let's leave off New York, Detroit, Chicago, and LA. So it looks like the crime's not going up. It's just all fake, folks. Every bit of this stuff is fake, fake, fake.
Oh, it is. And it is frightening. And people are. I mean, they're running to the bank and they're trying to withdraw all of their money and everything else. And there is panic. And there's definitely
Like
panic.
today.
Exactly.
The stock market's up. It's not that bad. They closed all that. They wouldn't even let them trade today.
Exactly.
They wouldn't let the banks trade. Open the banks collapsing. Let's just stop them from trading so it doesn't look like it. It's all fake. It's all built on a house of cards. It's all going to come crumbling down. Everything's going to come crumbling down because they're fudging the numbers and lying to you. And it's just in reality, this is reality. Remember, we've been saying this on this show. All this fake stuff they're doing with the numbers. You can't, we said it on the last show. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul.
You can't.
And now they're robbing Peter and not even paying Paul, I said. You can't keep doing it. What happens? What's happening right now? The banks are all collapsing. They're trying to hide it today. And it's happening. I'm telling you right now.
It is frightening what is going on here. The trading halted at 30 banks as the market opens. NYSE halts trading at Charles Schwab. Trading was halted at numerous banks at market open. Can you imagine if this would have happened during the week?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
We'd be down 5. It'd be the biggest stock market crash in history if they hadn't rigged the stock market today. It's what they do.
Exactly.
It's another, and it's just pushing it back. And I'm telling you, there's going to be no more pushing it back. And they're trying to push it back till somebody else gets in there.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they're appointing new people and all of this stuff. But you know what? They had to have known. They have known this was coming.
They come out with all these ridiculous things. It's Trump's fault because he deregulated banks. Oh, yeah, did he?
Mm-mm.
Well, let me tell you something. If he deregulated banks and you had the House and the Senate and the president for 2 years, why didn't you regulate them back up?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then 16 banks collapsed during Trump. 16 banks collapsed during Trump. Here's the name of them. The Alfalfa Community Mississippi Bank with 3 people. Joe Schmo's piggy bank in his bedroom bank. I mean, and so community banks with $3 million in assets that didn't even make the news. We're talking about some of the biggest banks in the world here. Oh God! And they just keep and then they glam onto the headline. Oh, Trump had 18 collapse. Trump. And there's just never any contents. Even little Adam Kinzinger with little tiny little baby hands. You can make out that whatever you want to make out. Smallest hands I've ever seen on a dude. They're literally like 1 inch high, like little baby hands.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, he's parroting the same thing. It's just, and that's another thing. All you liberals out there, you dumb Democrat voters, you just keep doing the headlines and all like everything's great. I'm telling you.
Oh no.
The banks are collapsing right now. They can stop them from trading all they want, but they're collapsing right now.
Exactly. But I mean, don't you want to talk about the Oscars and about how, dressing up in drag isn't a threat to anyone? I mean, that's exactly what they're going to want you to do. They're going to want you to focus on all of this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Here they are.
We want to dedicate this to the mommies, all the mommies of the world, to our moms. Specifically my mom and dad, Ken and Becky. Thank you for not squashing my creativity when I was making really disturbing horror films or really perverted comedy films or dressing in drag as a kid, which is a threat to nobody. Thank you, everybody.
Banks are collapsing. Let's clap for Becky.
Please. Oh my gosh. Well, they're already trying to squash every single story. Get this. That was quick. Democrats already asking federal government to censor information on social media that could lead to run on the banks. All right. So this is what they're trying to do. They don't want you to pull your money. They don't want you to know what's going on at all. So they want to, again, silence you from being able to protect yourself and your families.
Yeah, I don't tell people what to do with their money, but I mean, I'm not pulling my money out of the bank. Of course, I have several bank accounts too. Right. I have local credit unions. I have big banks. But if you think they're going to let Bank of America and Wells Fargo and all, just look back to 2008. Did they let them fail? No. You know why? Because when the banks fail, it all goes. If nobody can pay their credit cards, what else? All these businesses, I'm so excited.
I know.
I'm so pissed. I got to slow down here. I'm so pissed right now. God.
I know you are. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the bottom 50% of the people don't even pay any taxes. You know who pays all the taxes? The businesses. That's who's like 90% of the taxes come from these people that they demonize. But if the banks collapse, what's going to happen? Some of these people pay $20 million a quarter. Some pay $1 billion a quarter in taxes. What are they going to do if they close the banks and their money's gone? They can't pay their taxes. So you think the government's going to say, all of a sudden, nobody's going to be able to pay the taxes to us or donate to the Democrat Party? They're not going to let that happen. They'll do a $5 trillion bailout before they let everybody go broke so they can't get their tax money.
Oh, it's so true. I mean, this is such a big deal. We knew it was coming. We've been talking about this
We
for
talked
quite
about it
some
last
time.
week. It's coming.
Exactly.
We didn't know it'd be in a week.
Exactly. And what are you getting from Joe Biden? Biden? Absolutely nothing. Nothing from Puddin' Brain. In fact, it was a real tell when you have Paskanky, is what I like to call her, who says that he doesn't even get up before or start talking or participating before 9 o'clock or at 9 o'clock. And the fact that he's doing that now, we should all be so grateful because normally he's asleep at this time. I kid you not. I kid you not. I mean, they are so ridiculous on this whole thing. They won't even address it. He won't take questions. Here's Paskanky.
Important to note, President Biden does nothing at 9 a.m. He is a night owl. So the fact that he is doing this at 9 a.m. anyway speaks to how vital the White House recognizes it is for him to have his voice out there conveying that to the American public.
He woke up this morning.
Steve
How lucky
Ratner,
are we?
Thank you.
he woke up almost at noon. How lucky are we? He comes out there, says the banks are fine. We're going to close. The banks are fine. Turns his back, takes no question, and where is he going? He's awake enough to jet set all the way across the country to a fundraiser in California today, isn't he?
Of course he
Jets off to a fundraiser with this going on. These people just don't care. They want it to collapse.
Oh, he's not going to take it.
Oh yeah, they're all crooks.
What do you know right
He can't.
now
He's too
why this
dumb and
happened?
too demeaning.
And can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect?
Do you expect other banks to fail, Mr. President? Should all depositors be protected at all banks?
His meds were wearing off. He had to bail.
That right there is a joke, people.
Oh.
We got a president that cheated to get in, a resident that can't even ask a question because he's so damn demented and old and foolish and
What
stupid
can it do for you?
and out of his mind. He can't even take a question when all the banks
No,
closed.
I'm
If that was
just
Trump, he'd be
yapping
sitting
at
up there for
emails
2
they're just
hours
getting.
answering questions.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd also have 3 or 4 people inside,
Uh-huh.
and they would leave that room and they go back to another room and they go to work on it and work. And he'd be making calls to banks and calls to CEOs and working the phones. You have a team working the phone. Just called doing your job. That the balloon buffoon, he comes out there, turns his back to reporters and goes to a $35,000 plate fundraiser to make money for the Democrat Party.
Well, let's not forget that the resident has spent 40% of his presidency on vacation, and this weekend was no different than that. That's where he spent
Another
his whole
40%
weekend.
sniffing children. Another 20% incoherent sentences.
I think
You got a problem with me being here? Blah, 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 blah.
Karen? Oh, being a Karen. I thought you said her name was
problem
Karen.
with me being here.
Oh, okay.
Starts on all this stuff. I didn't say that. I just looked at her. I'm just watching it play out, getting herself worked up. And she goes, my son's downstairs applying for a job. The younger kid was down here.
Okay.
Younger African American gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
So then, the only thing I said was, oh, nice, good. And she just kept on, blah, 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 without me saying anything.
Probably the one that I just had to say I got coming back tomorrow was a tall, skinny kid.
Yeah, and then he comes out.
'Cause one of them I did take through orientation, but the other ones I'm just like, I'm gonna give you another chance not to show up.
I know. The time change and blah, blah, did some jogging with you. You're going to show up every day.
Yeah. I said, you mean the time change that happened 2 days ago?
I didn't say that. So, the kid didn't say anything. I don't want to say anything about the kid.
Right.
But then she goes, and now, because you got a problem with me, I don't even know if I want him working here. Again, I never said anything other than when she said he was applying for jobs. Well, no, it's great. That's my only words that I spoke. I'm standing there with a clipboard. If you got all 4 doors open and your trunk open,
That's suspicious. Look,
I'm gonna look over.
on private property.
Yeah. I just turned around and walked away. I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
That's when I'm whipping out my phone and starting to record.
I thought about it. I'm like, is it gonna really go that far? I'm like,
Yeah. Be good content though.
Can I monetize the Karen video?
You absolutely can, and they can go viral. You can make a few bucks off them too. I know a few people we could send it to.
Anyway.
All right, man.
Great afternoon, man.
Yeah, you too.
The young gentleman didn't do anything.
No, he was okay. I was just like, I told you 2:00, dude. It's 1:15. I was like, this is not a good first step. I said, let's reset and try again tomorrow. 2:00.
Oh, he's coming back?
We'll see. Hopefully just him. Or not, we'll have good content.
That's right.
Thanks, man. That was great.
Like 100% incoherent sentences.
Hey, frickin'.
This guy can't get anything right. It's
Popping off
it's
of
gotten
Monroe
that
again,
bad. Well, there is so much to this story.
You don't need a
And-
job.
Oh,
You don't want
one
any
more
job like
thing.
you do.
Janet,
Yeah.
Janet Yellen, who's another dummy, just like dumb Pete Buttigieg and dumb her and all the dummies in the Biden
Yeah, you don't want to work for the people I hired for here.
regime. They're supposed to be, they're supposed to be watching this. The last time they had a panel or a meeting,
I'm just trying to get people
was
paid
early
that worked last week.
month. You know what they talked about no time? Climate change.
Yes.
Climate change.
Idiots.
And then she talks about trans rights. She comes out on any kind of LGBTQ day and hosts a flag. She flies over to Ukraine. What the hell's that got to do with the finances of the United States? Securing
The thing is, they would say the same thing to me, and I've got fucking 3 jobs. So.
the banks and stuff. No.
Doing what you're doing is a good enough job in my book. If only you could make enough to support you, dude. I continue doing what you're doing.
Nothing. They're worthless people. She's dumb. She said inflation was going to be transitory. She's an idiot.
Yeah.
She's a buffoon.
Isn't it fun to watch all of this just crumble? She likes the words trans. She got that right. So yeah, transitory is what they carried on about forever. And now all of a sudden we've got a situation that's probably one of the worst we've ever seen. I mean, this is no doubt leading us down a line. So Biden lies by omission. He forgets to tell Americans that we are bailing out China's venture capital business with Silicon Valley bank rescue. So this is out. He left out a very important point this morning about the.
Looks like Freeman's got a premiere going on right now. We're going to be on a delay because we're going to watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, that's something you would have to contact my. Yeah, that's something you would have to.
If you're going to restrict people's right to self-defense, then don't you think that you should provide them defense?
Yeah, that's something you would have to contact my supervisor, sir. That's beyond my decisions.
Well, are you a licensed peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, I am.
Well, then I'm asking you personally. When the law restricts people from carrying firearms or tools of self-defense into a building, and you're the one who's going to enforce that restriction of firearms and self-defense, don't you think that you should be providing the defense for those who you have disarmed?
Sir, I don't make the laws. I just enforce them, sir.
And it sounds like you don't give a shit who gets murdered because of the laws, do you?
I have answered your question. If you have any further questions, I can direct you to my main office, where
I'll be right back.
you can get more information, or you can talk to our attorneys for the school district, but you would have to go through human resources, sir.
Now, do these attorneys in human resources protect human lives, or do they just protect you after human lives get mowed down in your gun-free zone?
You would have to ask them, sir.
Yeah. So my last video was about United Independent School District Police in Laredo, Texas, getting a warrant, kicking in a door, pointing guns at children, and then arresting their father for allegedly carrying a firearm into a school. If you missed that video, click the link in the top right corner to watch that now. In summary, I called the police department about the incident, and they adamantly denied that the man arrested ever walked into a school with a firearm, even though that was what they told the judge to obtain a warrant. In that last video, I only played part of the phone call with the school police because I felt like the second part of our conversation should be a video and a topic all its own. The last video ended with the public information officer telling me that they have a number of buildings that have been designated as gun-free zones and that they don't have any police enforcement at most of these locations. I guess, again, I'm not a lawyer. I am misunderstanding why you would allow it in this school building and not in other school buildings.
Sure. The thing is that in the
Okay, what's your name?
that are owned by the school that are
Hey, William, what's up?
educational institutions like campuses,
Friday.
police officers are not always there present
Yep, every Friday.
inside the campuses.
Okay, so these buildings then, where it's not an educational.
No, we do every
there are
week.
not kids there. There are not police officers
Yep.
there, and firearms
And
are
let me make
restricted.
sure
So
we have a
anybody
direct
could walk
deposit
in
set
there
up
with
for
a
you 'cause I just
firearm,
got your hours.
and because nobody else is armed, because it's illegal, and there are no police there, you could just mow down.
Yep,
every
it's all
single
set up.
person in that
You
building
should be
like
good.
they did in Uvalde.
No
with gun-free
guarantees, but a
zones.
lot of times with those apps, you
And
do get a
police
little
won't
bit
be there,
early.
and no legal
But
law.
we can't
nobody with
investigate
illegally armed can't
any
defend
issues until
themselves. Is that
Friday
right?
because that's actual
No,
pay
sir,
days.
because there are certain things that I cannot discuss with you. One, I do not know.
All right, man. How's it
exactly
going?
Who you are? So there are.
A little
I
late
cannot
today?
discuss with you
I'm-
how we protect.
Is it a little bit late today?
I cannot divulge any of that information of how we protect our.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
Jim
Well,
Johnson.
let's try and get it. Let's try and get
I'm
it
well
there.
known in the community. My name is Jim Johnson. Everybody calls me.
I
Grande.
know it's a bit of a change if you're not used to
Um,
getting up that early.
You can
but
call me
it's nice
Grande.
to be off at 3:30 though.
I'm
and then
well
have
known in the
a 3-day
area.
weekend.
Grande Johnson.
So, all right.
And I mean, obviously, this guy was able to walk in, spend 20
Okay.
minutes there, and
All
then
right.
not
Well,
be
good
caught
luck.
until
If you
2
need
days
anything,
later.
just reach out. If I don't ever answer the phone,
I
just send a
don't know
text to
that
the
he
same
was there
number,
for
and I'll be
20
able to
minutes.
respond to you as soon as I
You're-
can.
But you're telling me there was no police there, and that it's a
bye-bye.
gun-free zone, and so nobody in there is armed, and so anybody who wants to break the law can just walk in there and mow everyone down.
Well, apparently they did. They did break the law, and they were. There was repercussions, sir.
2 days later. So kind of like in Uvalde, where somebody broke the law, and hours later, after all the children were massacred, because nobody was allowed to have a gun in there, they had to wait for the police, who, just like in your situation, weren't there, and then the police. So, all right, I think I understand. I think I understand. You have restricted firearms in all of these places and refused to provide protection for those who are obeying the law by not bringing their firearms into the building.
Sir, that's not my rule. That's a school policy. You can bring it up to the superintendent and the board members.
It's a school policy or a law that you can't bring firearms into schools?
Sir, I have answered your question. If you have any further questions, I can direct you to my main office where you can get more information, or you can talk to our attorneys for the school district, but you would have to go through human resources, sir.
Now, do these attorneys and human resources protect human lives, or do they just protect you after human lives get mowed down in your gun-free zone?
You would have to ask them, sir.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you, as a parent, I'm absolutely disgusted that you guys would forcibly disarm everyone and then leave our children as fish in a barrel to be mowed down. If you're going to restrict people's right to self-defense, then don't you think that you should provide them defense?
Yeah, that's something you would have to contact my supervisor, sir. That's beyond my decisions.
Well, are you a licensed peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, I am.
Well, then I'm asking you personally. When the law restricts people from carrying firearms or tools of self-defense into a building, and you're the one who's going to enforce that restriction of firearms and self-defense, don't you think that you should be providing the defense for those who you have disarmed?
Sir, I don't make the laws. I just enforce them, sir.
And it sounds like you don't give a shit who gets murdered because of the laws, do you?
Sir, this ends my conversation with you, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah. It's been my personal experience that most people like to debate important topics with emotion rather than with logic and reason. And unfortunately, these illogical arguments really do persuade a lot of sheep. All I have to say is that if you don't believe schools should be gun-free zones, then you hate children and you want them all to die. I don't need to provide any facts or evidence that this statement is true, because if you argue with me, I shame you for hating children and wanting them to die. If we were to talk about facts, logic, and reason, we would talk about the timeless and universal fact that criminals prefer their victims to be weaker than they are. We would talk about the fact that a gun puts a 70-year-old grandmother on the same level playing field as a 30-year-old MMA fighter and gives her an actual fighting chance if she's attacked. We would probably talk about the fact that over 200,000 women per year use a gun to defend themselves against sexual abuse. We might talk about how police can't protect you when they're 15 minutes away, which is why armed citizens kill more than 2 times as many criminals as police do every year. We'd probably talk about how police are really bad at knowing who's actually a criminal and who's an innocent bystander, as 11% of police killings involve an innocent person being mistaken for a criminal. In the 80s and 90s, a number of studies were done in different states to see if passing concealed carry laws would decrease violent crime. In other words, they wanted to see if arming the general population while they're outside of their homes would reduce crime. During the study, states that passed laws allowing their slaves and sheep to concealed carry reduced their murder rates by an average of 8.5%, rapes reduced by 5%, aggravated assaults reduced by 7%, and robbery reduced by 3%. Look at Vermont, which is known as a constitutional carry state, which means that anyone can open or concealed carry in the state without any license or permission slip from their master. Vermont is one of the safest states in the nation for 10 years running now and has received the Safe State Award 3 times. And some states did see more drastic changes in crime rates than others after allowing their slaves to concealed carry. FBI reports show that the homicide rate in Florida fell 52% over 15 years after legalizing concealed carry. In 1966 and 67, the media highly publicized a safety course which taught Orlando women how to use guns. As a result, Orlando's rape rate dropped 88% in 1967, whereas the rates remained the same throughout the rest of the state. In 1979, the Carter Justice Department found that nationwide there were approximately 32,000 attempted rapes. 32% of attempted rapes on unarmed victims were successful, whereas only 3% of attempted rapes on armed victims were successful. Another more drastic example is Kennesaw, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta that passed a law requiring heads of household to keep at least one firearm in the house. While I personally think that forcing people to have a gun is just as wrong as forcing people not to, the results were intriguing. The results were that resident burglary rates dropped 89% in Kennesaw. 10 years later, the resident burglary rate in Kennesaw was still 72% lower than when the law had passed, showing that arming the public didn't just stop crime in the short run, but it had a long, very lasting effect. The truth is that most criminals do not like going up against an equal or greater threat, so they seek out those that they believe will not be able to defend themselves, because it's safer for them. 3 out of 5 felons in a poll said that they would not mess around with a potential victim if they knew that person was armed. 74% of felons agreed that when committing a burglary, they would avoid houses where people are in the home. Not because they don't want to hurt the people inside, but because they're worried about the people inside shooting them. 57% of felons agreed that they're more worried about meeting an armed victim than they are about running into the police. And international statistics do support what these felons claimed. In Great Britain, Canada, and the Netherlands, an average of 45% of home invasions between the 3 countries occurred while the home was occupied, whereas in the US, only 12.7% of invasions occurred while the residents were home. This is yet another statistic proving that most criminals don't want to confront an armed victim. We already know that people love to appeal to our emotions in order to keep us from thinking logically. And the topic of protecting the most weak and vulnerable in our society can naturally become an emotional topic anyways. People will tell you that the only way to keep your children safe is to disarm everyone around them. But statistics unquestionably show that the disarmed are most likely to become the victims of violent crimes. The problem is that only law-abiding citizens obey laws. Therefore, you will obey the rules to be defenseless, and your attacker will not. As a matter of fact, rather than emotion, based on the actual numbers and statistics, people are far more likely to be victimized when the attacker knows that they are defenseless. And who could be more defenseless than a building full of children where none of the adults are allowed to have anything more than thoughts and prayers to defend the children? This makes all gun-free zones well-known, well-marked, labeled, defenseless victim zones, aka easy targets for criminals. Now, please don't get me wrong. The truth is, I don't believe that everyone should have a gun. As a matter of fact, my wife and I do not allow our 2, 4, and 6-year-old to be armed with guns. And we genuinely think it's a good idea to not arm toddlers. You can call us tyrants, but we are not going to allow our toddlers to have firearms. We do, however,
Damn
understand
authority.
that we have a duty to protect our toddlers that are not capable of responsibly defending themselves. So who's going to protect everyone in these gun-free zones? If you're going to restrict people's right to self-defense, then don't you think that you should provide them defense?
Yeah, that's something you would have to contact my supervisor, sir. That's beyond my decisions.
Well, are you a licensed peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, I am.
Well, then I'm asking you personally. When the law restricts people from carrying firearms or tools of self-defense into a building, and you're the one who's going to enforce that restriction of firearms and self-defense, don't you think that you should be providing the defense for those who you have disarmed?
Sir, I don't make the laws. I just enforce them.
I took gun
Because
safety classes
obviously, the
in high
government
school.
that's taking everyone's
No,
right to self-defense
middle school.
isn't. And even if they
Junior high.
tried, it would require a police.
I was 12 years old.
Look, we're never going to have some utopian society
At the
where
school.
everyone respects the life, liberty, and property of others. I would, however, like to see a society in which the weaker members are allowed to at least have a chance to defend themselves against those who
Brought it-
will inevitably
Brought the
try
gun
to
to
cause
school
harm. Don't you
on the
think
bus,
that even if we say that
checked
it's
it into the
okay
office,
to prevent
and
people
then checked
from
it back
having the
out
right
at the
to
end of the day when we had the
self-defense,
class.
that we should then be completely responsible for what happens to that person that we just made defenseless. But you all heard Public Information Officer Sylvia Abrego of United Independent School District in Laredo, Texas, say
Yeah, that's something you would have to contact my supervisor, sir. That's beyond my decisions.
that she doesn't know who should protect the children in schools where all the adults have been disarmed. That tells me that likely it'll be the same people that protected the children in Uvalde. Nobody.
True. An armed society is a polite society. I agree with that.
What have you ever milked?
Cat.
A cat?
I went in and just simply, just.
I had no idea you could milk a cat.
Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Breck. Could you milk me?
Okay, could we change subject, perhaps?
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the According, and over the weekend was wild on Twitter. Jordan Peterson making a very...
I hopefully, Steve, not without a fight. Not without a fight. Things are coming to a head, I hope. I hope.
Spicy mistake, I think. Retweeting something that a lot of people are still seeing when their eyes are closed. But then he comes back and like triples down and just starts just going hard, like as hard as I've ever seen. Just seeing him just get savage on Twitter. I don't know what's going on with Jordan B. Peterson on Twitter. It's entertaining. Perhaps he's entered a new arc of spice levels. I mean, he used the naughty. He was cursing in his tweets. I've never seen that before. Maybe he's trying to shake things up. But it was a wild weekend if you follow Jordan B. Peterson, including his daughter's reaction. So his daughter, I can't show what he tweeted because it has also been viewed by like 1 million people since he quote tweeted it. His daughter writes, "Dad, you can't retweet this on Twitter. My eyes will never recover." Now, I don't know, if you saw what it was, I don't even know if I can describe it. Okay. It was like what they do to cows, but like a machine but with men. He said mistakenly, look, and we've all fallen for it. I'm not going to make fun of him for falling for a tweet or whatever, but some of the other replies to this tweet was love the doc, but this was too much. Some of the cartoon, oh my god, I'm losing it. Most of the replies also include other things I can't show. So this article, what did Jordan Peterson tweet? Internet in disbelief as viral retweet.
No rulers is a better idea.
Wild reactions. Now we know for a fact the video is not from China, but Canadian psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson found himself on the Twitter trending page after retweeting a post which contained a controversial video of male milking. The original post appeared to falsely claim that it was a video from the CCP. The clip comes with a caption that read, "What's going on in China? 3 children policy?" ? And you see Slats here saying, just to be 100% clear, Jordan Peterson just unironically retweeted a video of a male milking dungeon in the UK, claimed to be footage of terrible things happening in China. Peterson responded to the original video by quoting the original post. The now deleted tweet from the psychologist reads, "Such fun and unbelievable techno nightmare CCP." As the tweet went viral, social media users pointed out the video reportedly came from a UK-based studio and not China. Shortly after, the account behind the original post apologized for the mistake and wrote, "Sorry, my mistake. I found this video on WeChat, and they said this was a China's collection room for seed. Turns out the studio was from the UK." Meanwhile, Dr. Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, replied to her father saying, "Dad, you can't retweet this on Twitter. My eyes will never recover." While Dr. Peterson quickly deleted his quote tweet, numerous screenshots of his remarks and the controversial clips made their way around online. Dr. Jordan Peterson recently left social media users in shock after quoting a tweet showing an inappropriate video of milking. While the original tweet mistakenly claimed blah blah, as Peterson's response to the clip went viral, the psychologist deleted his comment. Netizens took rapid screenshots to repost to Twitter to share the reactions. Will Summer writes, "Not sure I'm ever going to recover from Jordan Peterson tweeting a milking video because he thinks it's a real Chinese government policy." I mean, there's a lot of not great things that happen, but after that, I want to point out too. So like, there's been some things that Jordan Peterson's been on a bit of a warpath on Twitter, arguing directly with the Pope. His Holiness had tweeted #social justice demands that we fight and against the causes of poverty, and Jordan Peterson took on the Pope. And this particular tweet, interesting tweet that he replied to as well, writing, demanding prison. So I don't know if this is like Jordan Peterson's super based arc, or if he's just having a bad day. Lord knows I know all about that. But here's a tweet also from this weekend from Billboard Chris, who talks about the process of making, the surgical process that biological men go through when they transition, so to speak. And it involves basically, as I said on my live stream this morning, imagine peeling a banana, then throwing the banana away, then inverting the banana skin, and then cramming it up there. That's how they make that for people that transition. So somebody tweeted that it was in fact being done on people who are under 18 in the United States. Now I want to make sure there's not a picture on this. Okay, so there isn't. They already have to edit a couple of pictures out of this. So you see the doctor says that it is done, and then they have to get dilation done for the rest of their life. I mean, they're talking about these surgeries where, again, most people fall, including myself, is now.
Speaking of nerds, hey, he had Crowder on this morning, so he earns a couple plays.
Go ahead.
Luke Radowski's
I
got a
don't
video
recommend
too.
it,
We're
but
gonna
I'm
play
not a
soon.
doctor. Okay, so I don't know. People get all sorts of weird things done. Tattoos, which is a little bit different. You know, all sorts of body modification stuff. If a doctor wants to do it, I guess I'm not sure I would call them a doctor, but that's neither here nor there. I think where most people agree is in the fact that we don't want kids getting it done. And I think the fact of the matter is, the rhetoric around this is getting so much like more inflammatory. But I think the reality is, look, I went through a lot of phases when I was young. You're talking about someone who's feeling a certain way for 5 months, 6 months, and parents can't wait to rush and have their kids have these surgeries done so that they can post it online about what a great hashtag parent, hashtag transparent, whatever they are. And these doctors that are doing this, in my opinion, are committing a crime too. So he finds this video and then he quote tweets prison, which I think is a fine reply to that, especially if they're doing these kind of procedures on people who are young, right? But then he gets even spicier and quote tweets the same tweet and said, "It's not a V, it's a hole for another man to F word." And that's that. Like, I mean, he's not wrong. Okay, he's not wrong. All right. But like, I don't know if he's just amping it up. Maybe now that he's with the Daily Wire, he's hanging out with Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh has got him spicing things up. You see a lot of this Jordan Peterson Unchained, spicy but no lies detected. Is he wrong though? I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, he's not wrong. All right, he's not wrong. However, this is extremely spicy for the soft spoken. You see Jordan Unleashed, Based Peterson, straight from the hip. Like that's like he's not okay. I like your tweets again. I mean, he just, I guess, got unleashed over the weekend, decided that he had enough, that he was going to amp up his language. And I guess I can't blame him. I mean, I think a lot of people on the non-leftist side of Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that have kind of taken up this banner of not being so nice anymore because, well, being nice has led to several losses over the years. And maybe Jordan B. Peterson has picked up that arc. I support him. I don't support his take about anonymous troll demons. But he has since kind of added some nuance to that. He's added some some knowledge around what he meant when he talked about getting rid of anonymous people on the internet. Certainly anonymity is extremely important
All right, bro.
online, and it's something that I would fight for.
Okay. All right. I won't be long.
However, Jordan Peterson does deal with a lot of it. And, I kind of relate to him on that a little bit. He picks a lot of fights, and then eventually the backlash wears him down, and he needs some time off. And so I definitely relate to that. Now, I would never come back and demand the removal of anonymity online, but I think he's kind of backed off on that issue. It's been 4 or 5 months since he did that.
Sounds cool for it.
I still think that Jordan Peterson does an enormous amount of good. I hope he continues doing what he's doing, and I'm definitely looking forward to the spicy version of Jordan Peterson on Twitter because well, he's worth a follow right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, we are just 2,900 subscribers away from 1.5 million. I would absolutely love it if you haven't yet, if I could earn your subscription today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, Mario, I'm going to call it back to you. All right, I'm going to play this last one. We'll be done. I'm probably going to have to go. Hey, Mario. Hey, I guess it went well. So they want you to report back tomorrow for orientation.
Responding
All
to
right.
austerity measures. I wonder how Americans will do. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing.
All right,
human
super.
beings. My name's Superdesky
Hope it
here
goes
at
well.
New
Let me
York
know if you have any
City,
issues
and
or
we have
anything
a
like that. All right,
plethora
you are on the
of
clock tomorrow.
absolutely crazy news to
All right,
get
man. Thanks
into,
for showing
as,
up.
Of course, it looks like a lot of things
Yep.
are unraveling in our mainline corporate society. But don't worry, the establishment goons that will say anything for a dollar on the corporate mainstream media are telling you everything's fine and hunky-dory, when in reality, a lot of people understand it is definitely not. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot
Long
more,
time
all
no
here
see,
on
buddy.
this independent media outlet. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, which is perfect for today, of Klaus
Very
Schwab
nice.
saying you will own nothing and you will be happy, you could get that shirt on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is, of course, clips from all the civil unrest that happened in Paris, France over the weekend, as of course the government there is creating policies, tightening the economic belt, setting up some austerity measures, and the people of France are not having it. Meanwhile, in the United States, for the last few months, even for the last few years, we were told the economy's great. It's doing better than ever. The New York Times wrote mainline headline pieces that read, quote, making the most of the coming Biden boom. And there definitely was a boom, but it wasn't an economic one. It was an explosion internally from our fractional reserve banking system that, of course, prints money out of thin air, devalues the U.S. dollar, while, of course, giving the best top-notch socialism to some of the biggest multinational corporations and banks in this world, while screwing everyone else over, something that we've been complaining about for about 15 years now. This, as many Americans are starting to realize this, and, you know, maybe spending all of our money on woke, divisive equity programs wasn't the best of idea, especially under the Biden administration that has been spending a lot of money that, of course, they did.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
The previous administration also did that to a very large tune that was absolutely fiscally irresponsible. But don't worry, the President of the United States told us today everything is under control.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe.
Yes, I'm very confident, as of course the president scurried away after his announcement, not taking any questions, as his government and of course the corporate media keep telling everyone there's going to be no bailout here, and essentially they're getting a bailout. And the banking system doesn't really seem that safe, as of course trading was temporarily halted, with dozens of banks' shares going down dramatically today, as many people fear a contagion spread of collapse, with major financial institutions like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, all corrupted financial institutions that, of course, prioritize woke ESG divide and conquer agendas rather than actually, being a good bank. But hey, those diversity, equity, inclusion efforts were definitely worth the money here, as of course banks like Silicon Valley Bank were more focused, according to some analysts, on International Lesbian Day rather than, of course, keeping the house of cards going with the fractional reserve banking system that essentially has been ripping people off. Now, it definitely looks like a lot of these banks are in some very serious trouble here, as depicted by Twitter user SayIamKid that documented today's downfall, which looks like it's not going to be stopping here, as many people are asking themselves, where is all this FDIC money coming from that's supposed to be now protecting hundreds of billions of dollars that are going to be protecting 100% of the deposits by SVB? Where is all this money going to be coming from? Well, according to this administration, not from the taxpayer. How? I don't know. This, as the second and third largest banking collapse in U.S. history, has just happened back to back, as of course things like Bitcoin have skyrocketed in value. This, as currently the price of Bitcoin has jumped up 15.67%, with people like Max Kaiser going crazy today, predicting a 10x in price here. Now, will that happen? Who in the world knows? But it's not just cryptocurrencies making a big rebound here. It's also things like gold, which brings us perfectly to one of the companies that we have announced that we were working with weeks ago. And this is, this couldn't be more perfect timing than anything else, as of course we have officially officially started to work with GoldIRAPatriots.com. That is supporting us because we have shared values and goals. This, as they do a lot of really interesting things when it comes to, of course, investment, when it comes to retirement accounts. And if you're interested in diversifying in gold in potentially a tax-saving way, check out GoldIRAPatriots.com. The link to them is down in the description.
Fractional reserve should be illegal.
They will send you what they are doing, and I think they're worth hearing out. They work with a lot of major big players. I personally believe in gold. I met some of the people behind this company. They share some of the same values. They understand what's going on as us, and that's why we decided to officially partner up with GoldIRAPatriots.com. This, as we've been working on this partnership almost this entire year for 2 months now. No, actually, even longer, since the T.
Yeah, and they say only 99% of the depositors have more than $250,000 in that bank. So if there's no issues happening, that means we're bailing them out above the quote-unquote FDIC insurance rate,
TPUSA event, since
which we pay for anyway.
I met the people there. We've been talking. We've been working together. We're not just trying to promote them now.
Big bonuses, and they sold a ton of stock last month. They knew this was coming. That's when it started falling. They showed all of them. All the executives of that bank were selling their stakes in their own bank.
This, as it's looking like, according to some financial analysts, gold is also making a run for it. So yeah, check out GoldIRAPatriots.
So the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission is private?
And if you remember weeks ago, specifically, we were telling you, hey, on LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area, it might be important to, quote, diversify. Now, there's a lot of schemes. There's a lot of liars. There's a lot of con artists in the larger financial markets, especially even in the alternative markets. And the solid advice we gave you weeks ago, months ago, years ago, since we've been talking about this ever since 2008. Again, the writing here has been on the walls for a very long time. What happened in 2000?
Yeah, and in fact, the feds, that's why if you rob a bank, the feds are who's coming for you. And that's why they will issue you a $250,000 fine, even though if you rob the bank, you only got about $5,000.
2008 was a travesty of actual severe injustice that, of course, we confronted many of the big players who were involved in it, like Ben Bernanke, that had...
Corporation. You mean like what the government is? Corporation.
Secret international banking billionaire bailouts that no one even knew about, that of course we were one of the few people actually asking them about it. And with the banks being extremely irresponsible, then they were rewarded for it, given bailouts. That big bubble that was deflating in 2008, well, it was just made even bigger, and now
Smart move, chopper.
Financial ramifications for it. And that's why throughout the last few years,
good thing none of my
called it very
wealth is very liquid,
I
so
think
I
I'm
can't
even
pull
going
it
to
out.
get some of my team to help me do a compilation video of all the things that we were calling. That's pretty much happening right now. We're going to be doing another video and answering your questions one-on-one later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, and I will see you there right after their broadcast. As of course, it's important to bring up the fact here, how else do you think that these larger, very powerful people will get their central bank digital currencies, will get their great resets? How else do you think it was going to happen? And of course, what's happening right now, I think, is a very telling sign of many troubles ahead of us. As even the Daily Mail today has a live webpage detailing all the latest developments with the U.S. economy, with the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. This says U.S. Treasury yields are now on track for its biggest two-day drop in history, as even Politico is reporting that there's going to be more bank fallout and failures. And with all the numbers coming in right now, with all the larger financial instability, with all the larger
None of my deposits are near
agencies
$250,000
that have incentivized and allowed this larger robbing of the American public, selling out of our economic future, the U.S. government during this time is not going after the crooks, is not going after the banksters, it's not going after the people who have robbed you of any kind of financial future, as of course it's harder and harder to pay for grocery bills. It's almost impossible to own a house. As daily life becomes more and more unaffordable, the U.S. government is focusing on memers. Yes, right now, a memer Doug Mackey is being prosecuted by the Biden Department of Justice for posting memes. His trial begins today as he faces 10 years in prison for allegedly spreading some misinformation memes. This, as of course we have to understand here, the reason that I'm bringing this up is, of course, the larger censorious nature of government that has been manipulating political discourse, censoring ideas from the mainline general public, is going to be activated during this very key important time. That's why we keep telling you about LukeUnfiltered.com, our own website, our own platform, our own infrastructure where we get to do and say whatever we want, because financial misinformation is being added to the quote critical infrastructure domain, so the Department of Homeland Security sees and can have a justification for going after shutting down and destroying speech, which they think is going to be against the best
I was trying to reach
of the
Michelle
current
back.
machine that
She had
has
an
brought us
interview
to
today
this ever so
with
very
one of our
desperate,
clients,
horrible situation.
and I wasn't able to get through the number that we have in our system for her. But apparently the interview went well, and they do want her back in the morning for orientation.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys
word to
actually
her.
watching and sharing.
She's
these
already heard
videos,
it.
and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on
Michelle Hayworth?
change.org.
Yeah, that's okay. No, she passed the interview, and they want her to start orientation in the morning at 8 a.m. So she'll be on the clock. You will? All right, thank you very much. What's your name, sir? Sean. Okay, thank you very much. If she has any questions, she can either text. The best way to do it is to text this number back, and I can call and I can communicate with her that way, because I'm about to close the doors on the office here, but we can still receive texts after hours. So, all right. Well, have her there tomorrow at 8 a.m. And I just want to let her know, great job on the interview. Bye. She ain't showing up. All right. I saw something else pop up too. Let's see. Yeah. What else popped up? Lackluster.
What are you guys doing here?
Is there a problem?
I noticed that you guys aren't doing nothing but hanging out.
Why are you asking for my ID?
You have to give me your ID.
Why do I have to give you my ID?
So what you're doing now is leading me to believe that you might be doing something wrong.
You're not going to violate or victimize us. Right now, you're being arrested because you're not. So what did I do to be arrested?
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. On September 20th of 2019, a mother and her two daughters parked to visit a Starbucks on their way to a college math test at Berkeley after driving all night to get there, when deputies Holland and Pope of the Alameda County Sheriff's Office approached their vehicle.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
What are you guys doing here?
Waiting to go to Starbucks in a second. Why? Is there a problem? We can't sit here?
Well, actually, let me tell you why I'm here. Okay, I've been having auto break-ins in this parking lot every morning around this time.
Thank you very much.
So I've been driving around here. Okay, and I noticed that you guys aren't doing nothing but hanging out.
At first, the women thought the deputies were warning them about the break-ins, and they were grateful, but the deputies began questioning the mother about whether she was legally able to park in a handicapped spot, despite the visible placard in the vehicle's window.
Yeah, I just got in from Vegas.
Okay, well
this morning. I've been driving all night.
Okay.
Takes 8 hours to get here.
Well, relax. That's my reason why I'm talking to you.
I'm from here, so okay. We're in a car from the Bay Area from Oakland.
Okay.
Just because it's got Nevada plates, it's not a.
It's not a Nevada car.
No, I'm not Nevada. I'm
do you have your ID on you?
Yeah. Okay, so wait a minute. Now, why are you asking for my ID? You just explained to me about the break-in.
Right.
But why did you explain to me about my ID? What's that about?
The deputies now claim that the women seemed suspicious and demanded ID. But under the Fourth Amendment, citizens have the right to be free from unreasonable searches, which includes being asked for ID if an officer cannot articulate that a crime has been committed. Sadly, for these tyrannous state actors, simply existing in an area where a crime once occurred is not a lawful reason for an officer to act outside of the constitutional limitations to their authority. Furthermore, it is unlawful to detain someone simply because they are the same ethnicity or age as a possible suspect. And even so, the only descriptions of suspects related to the alleged string of vehicle break-ins were African American men.
What did I do? What kind of crime did I commit?
What kind of crime did you commit?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
You haven't
asked you for my ID.
Yeah, you have to give me your ID.
Why do I have to give you my ID?
Why?
I don't have to give you my ID because I haven't did anything. You started talking about a break-in.
Okay.
I thanked you for informing me that.
Right.
I informed you that I'm resting because I'm about to go into Starbucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I informed you I've been driving all night, right?
Well, Starbucks has been open for about 2 hours.
It's actually been open since 5. I checked my GPS. Okay.
Are you doing anything wrong?
No, I'm not.
So then what's the big deal?
I don't have to give you my ID. I'm not doing anything
Yeah,
wrong.
you do.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No,
You don't?
I know the law. I don't have to give you my ID. I'm not doing anything wrong. I have not did anything wrong. I've not did anything wrong.
So what you're doing now is leading me to believe that you might be doing something wrong.
No, I'm not doing that. So don't try to trump up no charges. I saw like get your phone out, start recording. Start recording right now, honey. May I take get Annika on the phone. Get Annika on the phone.
Why are you getting so worked up?
Because I gotta have protection. Because I don't know where this is about to go. I gotta have protection.
Well, it's not gonna go anywhere if you cooperate. So you see this thing right here?
Not gonna go anywhere if you cooperate.
Everything's being recorded.
Exactly, and I'm not doing anything. That's what did you hear me tell my daughters? Start recording as well.
Yeah, that's fine. They can record all day.
Yeah.
So why are you making this a big deal?
Because I haven't done anything.
You said you're a local resident, or you're from here.
I said I'm originally from here.
Okay.
That's what I just told you.
Well, this could be a completely positive encounter.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you my ID because I haven't done anything.
Okay.
Call Annika right now.
Do you have a valid driver's license?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I wouldn't be in this car if I didn't. I can't rent a car without a valid driver's license. Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I don't know that if you rented this car, right?
Well, what does that have to do? Exactly. No, we didn't.
Okay.
What do you mean tonight? No.
So are you going to refuse to give me your ID?
I am because I haven't done anything. Call your superior. Call your supervisor.
I don't have to do that.
Yes, you do have to do that. Make sure you record that because I'm going. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to 150th and I'm
What they
going
do.
to the sheriff's department.
They're trained to do that. Not about the law. They're trained on that.
Yeah, exactly. We got it. Okay, good. I'm going straight there.
Yeah.
Straight there.
It's a rental car.
Okay. So
we're being harassed for nothing. We're being harassed for nothing.
It's not harassment.
Yes, it is harassment. Yes, it is. I have not did anything.
Okay, hold on. Could you explain us the situation about the break-ins? We told you we just got in town, and you're still trying to tell us about an ID for what?
Right.
We haven't done anything. Did we break into something?
No. Okay. No. So a call and say that this car broke into something? No, it didn't.
Did someone tell you this is a car you need to look out for?
Exactly. No one did.
Well, guess what? I'm not in any rush. I can hang out here till you want to give me your ID.
I'm not. I want you to call your sheriff. I want you to call me or call your superior, your supervisor. I'm at your supervisor right now. I sell it.
Well, hold on.
Call 911.
What is going on here?
I'm gonna call the police.
Okay.
The mother calls 911 to ask for assistance, and Deputy Holland tells them that they are detained.
Okay, everyone in this car is detained. You can go back in the car and wait, or you can go in handcuffs and go in my car.
She's not gonna go. I said, just get in the car. We're not detained. I'm calling the police right now on you. I'm calling the police on you. Because you came up here and harassed me.
This is why the police.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone in this.
We haven't done anything. Sit down.
Just sit in the car.
Hi, I
Just
need
sit
to
in
get
the car.
a police officer immediately to the Starbucks in Castro Valley. I'm being harassed
But
by
you may be getting
an
in the car
individual
from
that's
an
saying
unhappy
they're a sheriff
contact.
for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason. I don't even know if they are or not. I was sitting in my vehicle. I had dozed off for a second. Was going to go into Starbucks, and all of a sudden I get a knock on my window, and the individual starts talking about break-ins, and I'm like, what? And then I was like, okay. I saw it.
Okay, sit in the car or you're going in handcuffs. I'm not dealing with this.
I'm going to handcuffs and I have to use the restroom.
You can sit. You can sit. You can sit in the car. You can sit in the car.
What am I saying?
Last option. Last chance. Sit in the car. You're going to handcuffs.
One of the daughters exits the vehicle to use the restroom, which is one of the reasons they stopped at that Starbucks in the first place. Later, it was claimed that one of them committed battery because the car door struck one of the deputies. But the video later presented in court shows that when she tried to open the car door to exit, the deputy had in fact pushed it closed on her. But no battery charges have since been filed on the deputy.
Sit in the car. You're going to handcuffs.
Handcuffs for what?
Handcuffs for what? Yeah,
Start us up there.
that was one of the things. You're being really too excessive right about now. You're being real excessive right now. That's one of the reasons why we stopped here too. For me to get coffee, and I was telling her to get up so she could go to the restroom. Oh no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to violate and victimize us.
31 Adam. Well, we just occupy times 3.
What if she
You got 2 of them out of the car just running all around, filming us.
This is why you're
PDA investigation.
I have an individual here. Hello?
Do you have any?
I am in Castro Valley Starbucks. I just spoke with somebody and I got hung up on.
Do you have an answer for my question? You do not.
National Valley Boulevard.
We're just nothing. We're doing nothing.
Man, this
They
infuriates
don't
me.
want to listen to us, so let's go ahead.
They
and
don't
detain
have
these two.
to. They don't have to.
You're not going to detain them. No, you're not going to detain them. We haven't did anything. We haven't did anything. We have not did anything.
Let's start the car. Get out of the car.
No.
Get out of the car.
I'm rolling the window down.
Get out of the car.
No, I'm rolling the window down.
Get out of the car.
No, I'm not. I'm rolling the window down.
Get out of the car.
I'm rolling the window down.
Get out of the car.
I see it's rolled down.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
No, I'm not.
Get out of the car.
I haven't did anything. I'll get out. Just don't pull on me. I'll get out.
All right, get out of the car.
Call the police.
Get out of the car.
Get somebody here.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. This is your last chance to get out of the car, or I'm placing you.
No, you're not placing me under arrest.
Or I'm placing you under arrest.
I'm calling someone.
Get out of the car.
I am. You don't have to pull me. I'm getting out now.
Get out.
Stop it.
Then get out.
Stop it. You're gonna get in a lot of trouble. So
That's fine. Stand right here. Stand right here. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. You're being detained.
No, I'm not being detained. For what?
You're being detained.
For what?
Put your hand behind your back, or you're gonna go to jail.
No, I'm not going to jail. You're not going to. No, we're getting the attorney. We're getting an attorney right now. Record everything. We're getting an attorney. We're getting an attorney. No, we're getting an attorney. We're getting an attorney. The minute. We haven't done anything.
I haven't even committed a crime.
Put your hands behind your back.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to the sheriff department now.
We have two detained working on the third.
We're getting an attorney. We haven't done anything.
Walk over here. Walk over here.
Okay, I haven't done anything.
Face this car.
I have not done anything. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't have no weapons on me. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You can't even answer me.
Don't worry. We're going to go to the sheriff department. Don't worry. Don't worry. I said y'all.
Put your hands behind your back, or you're going to jail. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. You're going to jail.
You're going to get fired.
That's fine.
You're going to get fired. Watch.
That's fine.
He knows he's not.
Don't worry. We haven't done nothing. We got a lawsuit. We have a lawsuit.
And a lawsuit they had indeed. The women were placed in handcuffs and detained in separate cruisers for about 70 minutes while their vehicle was searched without a lawful reason to do so, continuing an egregious assault on their civil rights. And in the end, they were released without ever being charged for a crime. After the incident, the Alameda County Sheriff's Office investigated itself, completely absent of bias towards its own officers, and found that there was no wrongdoing. That was sarcasm. Trust me. Someone in the comment section wouldn't have got it. Just under a year later, the family sued the county and all officers involved. Alameda County offered the family $700,000 to settle the lawsuit, but their attorney turned down the offer and took it to trial because their legal fees had already reached $1.5 million after having been litigated for nearly 4 years. But more important, the family wanted change, and the settlement offered no new policy changes or new training. After a 2-day trial in March of 2023, a jury awarded the family $8.25 million
Hell yeah.
after their rights were
Coming right out of the
without
taxpayers'
articulating
pockets.
what crime the officers thought they had committed, which again was no crime. The award was so large because of California's Bain Act, which allows any damages to be tripled if lawyers can prove that a person's civil rights have been violated. What law enforcement officers often fail to understand is that being generally suspicious of somebody is not a valid reason to detain or arrest them. Nonetheless, both deputies have since been promoted to sergeants and have likely trained their misunderstandings of the Constitution into countless other deputies. And the taxpayers will once again be punished for the wrongdoings of their law enforcement agency. The good news is that the daughter did make it to her math test, though she was 40 minutes late. She's expected to graduate from UCLA in summer of 2023. Thanks for watching. If you have a video, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe and hit the bell for future content, and check out our other channels, Lady Lackluster and The Odd Side. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment about what you think of this interaction. It's the easiest way for you to help expose corruption and misconduct. Merchandise is available using the links below. Join the Lackluster family for just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel. Get a Lack logo next to your name, custom emotes, and early access to videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All links are down below.
Yeah. It's a blood boiler. A lot of his are, though. You already know how it's going to end up. The department says nothing was done wrong. Big settlement, all coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. And no change. Give him a like for that. Subscribe if you want to. That was lackluster. He just did. Ooh, distance roll.
Whoa, I'm like turning into a mountain man here, boys. All right, so I released the bad medical conspiracy theory argument video a couple days ago. Seems like, I don't know, 80-90% of the people that saw it got the point I was trying to communicate. I blame myself for the others. The video was kind of convoluted and squirrely, and I was just trying to do a quick walk and talk. But it opened a can of worms. And
good.
This weird thing is happening, like as the channel grows, my ability to have good one-on-one conversations with people, I just don't have time. My ability to participate in these long comment back and forth discussions, I can't do it anymore, and it's only going to get worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try tonight, let's do 9 p.m. Central Time on the Discord server in the voice chat. Anybody that disagrees, thinks I'm wrong, or still has questions about that video, or things that they want to add or say, come join our Discord server, join the voice chat, 9 p.m. Central, and let's think about it. Let's get to the bottom of it and the truth of it. Whoa, I'm like turning into a mountain man here, boys. All right, so I released the bad medical conspiracy theory.
All right. Ooh, 7 p.m. That's early for you, frickin'. Everybody. Frickin's doing a 4K action camera. It looks like a $4,000 action camera, which, you know, those of us who know cameras understand what that means, but that's hilarious. 2 hours from now, 2.5 hours. Okay. If you don't get notifications from Frickin, doing a giveaway tonight. At 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, fuck. And Anna's live.
Now, you guys, you boys probably don't know what the smell is, but it totally smells like someone just colored their hair in here. Isn't that crazy?
It also smells like crack.
Oh, my kids told me next City Hall where there's candy, they need me to grab them some. So that's what I'm doing. Grab them some USA candies.
Josh looks like he lost some weight.
Too.
So many government buildings that want me to be inside them.
Josh for Watch says, grab a handful, Banana. We pay for those.
True.
I think it's legal. It's legal. Hey, Jack. How you doing? We're getting our steps in today. Right, Josh? Getting all those steps in. We've been in the car for a little while, huh, Mike? FOP audits. Me and Accountability for All have been sitting in the car for a little bit, so we're getting our steps. All right, so tell me what the FOP stands for.
Freedom of Press Audits.
Freedom of Press Audits. I like that. It's like, don't tell me it's Fraternal Order of Police.
It's or it could be fuck off police. So.
Fuck off. Fuck off, Popo.
Whichever you want.
Josh needs it. Nah, Josh looks great.
Swisher Sweet? You mean people just smoke those? They don't use them to roll blunts?
I think a lot of places are closed.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
No, I'm not sure. Have a great day. What's up?
You look very nice today.
No, thank you. That was very nice. Thank you.
I'm good. Just taking a look around. Thank you.
This one just smells like armpit in here.
This is the treasurer's office.
Busy day today?
No.
Morning usually. Yeah.
Good.
Well, happy Monday if there's such a thing.
Oh, okay.
Take care, man.
Ooh, that's the treasurer's armpit. These places are not smelling nice.
Outside entrance to each.
Hello.
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Welcome back, Doug. Looks like Anna Banana's grandma, the one with
You see
AFA
this?
anyway.
This is the whole dollar. Education goes to 68 cents of it. 56 cents of that is schools. ERAF 12 cents. That's the remainder. That's the remainder for the 68. Cities 2 cents. I can't read that part. It breaks it down. That's kind of a cool little graph
Interesting to do a record request
to see if
how much is actually allocated. If that's correct.
right. I think that's a great idea. And hey Heather, can you screenshot that for me? You guys can go on ahead. I'll be right there. You screenshot that, Heather? Heather, tell me when you screenshot that, and then I'll walk away. I don't want to screenshot it and screw up the...
Like downtown Toledo's having a water emergency today. A bunch of restaurants are
Thank you,
posting that they're
Heather.
closed because of it. That's always cool. Toledo and its water emergencies. Good thing I got well water. Not on the same aquifer as East Palestine. Who's that long
I
hair?
see you.
Yes. What's upstairs? Oh, very cool. It's cool that there's outside and inside access. So, most like county or city buildings, you have to go inside and everything there. It's nice that it's kind of like outside. Exactly. Because you get a different feel for each place. Thank you.
I'm not with him, though.
I wouldn't want to be with you. Anyways, you seem mean.
Hey, I got that diamond grip. You see that? I got that diamond grip.
Have a good day.
Have a great day. They do. They must be coloring their pit hair, probably. The one place smelled like hair coloring, and the other place smelled like nasty BO pit. But the people that worked in the offices were nice. They were pleasant. Yeah, exactly. Oh, they have an Alexa here. Hi. No, I was just liked your name. You're Alexa in real life. Have you heard that before? No, I'm good. Thank you, though. For the kids.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Hey,
Coffee.
great smile, by the way. Thank you. I love that.
Thank you.
Filter system.
Josh did. Look at that.
Mine's not really a filter system that I have. Of course, B News.
Look at what Josh did.
Ours is more of a disinfectant. It's a peroxide mix, just to be safe. I only have to add peroxide to this big thing that slowly drips it in. Better than fluoride.
It smells better than the last one.
Indoor and outdoor.
Yeah, what's new?
I definitely wouldn't drink the
Josh is
7%
cracking me up
peroxide
right
that the mix is made out of.
Indoor, outdoor. Yeah, I need a phone stand too. Hey. Oh, that's cool. There's a door.
This is cool.
Leading from where we were, right there.
Yeah, I think they go to everyone.
If you haven't, check out my Telegram group, guys. If you're not on Telegram, it's in the link tree there.
Broken.
Link tree that pops up intermittently there.
Uh-oh.
Phone bill just came out. That's awesome.
I'm auditing Josh right now. That's funny.
Very nice. Lots of maracas back there, like maracas.
Yeah, but their welcome's broken. It's
Welcome.
broken. What? What? Woo! Fur. 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 that was like a little gargle with it. Fur.
Yeah, chemicals are hard to filter out,
Sorry for the shaky
but
music.
I don't know. I'm not a Culligan man.
I'm waiting for my new gimbal to come in the mail so that hopefully the camera's not so shaky anymore, guys.
This is pretty cool. I'm gonna download
This is Hollister, California, guys.
I have it.
The buildings smell, but the people are nice. If we Are you saying crusty and untouched, Josh? Did you just say crusty and untouched? Yeah. No activists left behind.
Look at this. When the Vikings invaded France in 845, they easily defeated all the troops sent by King Louis, as the king's army had a 10-1 advantage. The myth ran among the French that the Vikings knew no fear. Of course we know fear, said Ragnar. We just don't encourage it. Fear leads to servitude, obedience, and slavery, which is a fate far worse than dying in battle. We don't worship one chief. It's one more, chosen momentarily. We discuss everything in assemblies, and our women are free. Thing to know, huh?
Taking my time.
Let's save that little Mimi.
Oh, go for it. You don't have to hold the door and wait, but you're such a gentleman. You're so sweet. Oh, hey, T.
You can have that and still repeal the 19th Amendment.
IE Street News Media, hey. Oh, he didn't even hold the door open. Asshole. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm good. No, we're not together, but I'm good, though. What's this door to? What's this door to? Oh, fun things going on in there, I bet. And this is why we don't ask what's behind door number 1. Oh, Teacher of the Year. Wait, he's holding open the door. Catch it.
To the right, up and to the right.
On the other side, yeah.
So I can take all these pictures and save them for later.
Yeah. Like this one.
Well, I gotta take all my pictures so I can save them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in a picture of the video.
Oh, thanks, Heather. Yeah, that's the link to my merch. You can find awesome shirts from my karaoke channel to my activism channel. Just whichever one you prefer, or all of the above. I want to come out with a I want to come out with the I want to come out with a
See, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, Yard.
a yard.
Bitch.
Hey,
I'm talking to him.
you better have been. Someone's playing music, trying to throw us off. They're playing music to throw us off. I catch what they're doing. Anyway, he can. He knows we're going this way. I want to come out with a Nanner AFA shirt. That would be fun. But AFA. Oh my God, that's cute. Oh, hey, Melissa. Thank you. Yeah, those are my pay links, Cash App.
All right, we're over 3 hours.
Oh,
We're coming up on three hours and 30 minutes.
Stealthy, but he's not.
So
PayPal, and I think Venmo, maybe. I don't know.
I think I'm caught up on work stuff here. Let me see. People are
Thanks,
supposed to be
Heather.
paid. People.
For all you who are kind of new to watching me, I sing for fun on my backup music channel. I started out this channel doing music, and then it grew when I did a couple cop watches, so I switched over.
Fucking Lester didn't show up. No call, no show to the interview.
Hey, Wandering Hippie, how you doing, sweetheart? $69 people in here and 64 likes. What? 69's a good number. And I word vomit.
Snowing again.
Oh, thank you so much, Johnny Bravo.
Haven't been outside. Oh, yeah, it is. Holy shit.
Duty officer.
You must be close, man.
EMS.
Yeah, he's a loser. He didn't show up for his interview.
Oh. It's like a EMS.
Love wasting
duty
my time
officer.
getting these things all set up for people and them no showing without even a single call. It's fucking awesome.
Look at it. Josh's got this big old smile on his face. He's happy right now. Yeah, they did. Hey, Melissa Tias. Tell me how to pronounce that, please. Oh, 69 likes. Hey, Josh, you got 69 likes. That made 70. You did not indulge the 69. That was disappointing. Buzzkill. Cock block. Yes, sir, Eric. It's the administration building for the San Benito County. Ooh, auditor. County.
You know what? Fuck this.
Is this the right office?
tie us.
Yeah, it's snowing here too. It's coming down hard actually here. I'm about to
No, come
leave.
here. Auditor, county council up there. Yeah. They do. It says to hold the handrail while walking up the stairs, though. I'm not really sure why, unless they're unstable. It's hot up here. Musty. Ugh.
In the good part of Michigan, huh? It's snowing here too, though.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Ring doorbell.
Okay, what's going on?
These people, man. Synchron,
Who are you telling?
dude.
Private. There's
Oh, we
privates
sent it
in
to
the
you. I'm
public.
like, yeah, his name's not on it. I was trying to be
Well, the
nice by saying
audio
it the way I
seems to be
was,
open.
but you want me to send it back to you saying, yeah, this is what you sent us without his name on it. And nobody has 31.5 hours. I know they fired a couple of those HR people last week though, that Leslie and the other dude, that Paul.
Someone called, so we're
But I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But I mean, this guy's been showing up every week. This is like the third week out of 4 that he's had issues with his hours. I mean, why have a nice electronic? I mean, look at all the hard work you have to do for EP to make sure people's hours are right, and they don't have nearly as many numbers over
There's
there.
privates in the public. Yes.
Yeah. So
No, but I think they
hopefully
got to-
payroll will just pay it, because she did say in the email that it was
Who are the
31.5
privates?
hours. So I just asked payroll to just pay them. I just pay them. I don't know why their shit's never right.
I
but
am
just pay
filming
them. And, if you get a copy of it tomorrow or anything for last week, just can you forward me a copy of it just so I can make sure he's on there again? I appreciate it. Anything special? Any big fights over there today?
Oh yeah, it is wandering hippie. It's very nice.
Why?
Okay. Hey, Lori Van Hoosier.
Yeah, is this anything to do directly with our people? No? Then I'm sorry. We're not your management.
Oh shit! Is it dead? Is it dead?
No.
It's dead, isn't it? Oh, it's dead. Oh,
All right. Well, I
that
just
made
wanted to
me
vent.
sad. It was cute.
I'm glad Heather or Michelle made it too. So, and thanks for reaching
Tell
out to her.
Josh
I
to
did
get
talk to. I
in
did call
that
her
bus
emergency
right
number,
there.
and whoever answered that said that they would relay the message. But you said you got in touch with her, so that's cool.
Yeah, the dead lizard. That was sad. That broke my heart. I didn't want to touch it because I had a feeling it was dead.
Yeah.
I should have put it to the side in the grass now that I'm thinking about it.
Alrighty
Should have
then.
had Mike do it.
I said that on my text to the other one too, and he did respond. So
Here's the Superior
actually, I
Court.
called him. He hadn't responded yet, so I called him and he answered. I'm like,
In
dude,
San
you gonna be there
Benito
tomorrow? He's like,
County.
yep, 8 o'clock. I'm like, all right, brother, thank you.
Oh, so all the new hires, I already put them in the system, so we're good on that. So they can sign in.
There's
Oh,
a
it's
law.
Synchron?
It has been ruled.
Oh, no, for
Do not have your
Oh,
cell
for EP?
phones on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't even.
I'm going into the
Shit, I need to
courthouse.
print that out. So I'll print it out before I leave here. This printer works better than that one over there. Oh, you did? All right, sweet. All right. Well, have a good night. Hopefully, I won't call you tonight. All right, bye.
Nothing superior about the courts. Exactly, John.
Well, they better show up tomorrow, man, because this sucks. Some interviews better show up tomorrow. Duck Queen.
Ready? All right.
Yeah, no. That is funny. I don't know about the ass thing, but lizards die all the time.
What? I know.
It's, dude.
I'm a rebel.
Happens constantly.
Yeah.
I had 4 people scheduled to meet me this morning, and I had somebody show up that wasn't scheduled. So I took him a half hour early, and none of the other 4. Well, no, wait. One set of them came 15 minutes late. I told them come back tomorrow.
How are you doing today?
You show up for your interview 15 minutes late, and then the person that gave him a ride, I guess, got in an argument with one of the property owners here.
Huh?
Fuck that.
I need what? No one, but you were saying something. Never mind. Oh, about to do a little word vomit is what she was about to do.
Are we just looking around and everything? Yeah, we don't really need any help.
I told you I didn't need help.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you. We're just going to take pictures and videos.
She was going to tell me I need
permission.
Yeah. And then she realized, oh, never mind. Yeah.
Thanks. Whatever.
It's whatever.
It just turns out to have it. Okay.
Your pH. Wait.
Huh?
That's
of course.
It doesn't matter anymore. Hello, Aglo. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you. How many innocent people have you imprisoned? Most recent statistics say 4 people are wrongfully convicted. That's over 400,000 people. How many of those? Oh no. See, now we don't have any answers to questions. It's like, oh, I'm an attorney. I got a law degree, and I'm not as smart as the guy at the window with the camera. That sucks. My life sucks.
It is kind of musty and unclean in here for the people, though. Musty and unclean.
Oh. It's fighting you, man. Don't fight it. The phone's going to win every time. I still can't get my Android Auto to work wirelessly anymore, even though 2 models ago it worked just fine. But for some reason, the newest model phone won't work with Android Auto wirelessly. I have to plug a cable directly into it.
No. She checked herself because she saw 2 other people. She was about to tell me I needed her permission to record.
Yeah, as soon as
to record.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let me answer this.
Stop it.
No, that's what it is. I'm telling you, there are a lot of women that for some reason they feel like they can just like tell you what to do. Then you have men back up, and then all of a sudden it's like,
hello?
Point.
Hello? 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 Hello?
I mean, I don't feel like it's a pass. Yeah.
Hello?
I mean, thing is the woman knew that it would be wrong.
We're here. Let's go take 2 minutes and go in there.
Well, we can't go in there. We can't go in there recording though. It's illegal. Yes.
That's what I got. Just got it.
It's a courthouse. Yeah.
It virtually the same.
Yeah, of
It's
course. We just can't walk inside.
It's got a metal case instead of the plastic one that I had before, and it's got a place in the phone for the stylus because I loved my Note 9. Love the stylus, and I dropped it on Friday or Thursday, so I went ahead and got the outer box for it. So we'll see about heat issues this summer, especially with recording with because that was always an issue with the S21. That fucker would overheat while I'm going down the road constantly. That's why I use this stupid. That's why I use it mainly when I'm driving around. I use this stupid iPhone SE. It's a work phone through one of my jobs, not this one, but made them get me a phone so they wouldn't call Yeah, you got to have an OtterBox, man. It's saved me so many times. Only issue is that it protects so well that it holds the heat in.
Oh, hey, pissed off Marine, how you doing?
Yeah, I guess
We
the
are
aluminum
with FO.
the aluminum casing on it dissipates the heat a whole lot better than that plastic did. I guess the plastic outside of the phone on the older models really held the heat in badly.
OP Audits, aka Mike. Old man Mike. Old man Mike. Okay, we're going. Oh, I'm going. Hey, St. Louis Audit, how you doing? Yes, we're speed auditing. D, everything is in the same place.
Oh, last summer I had that incident where that guy grabbed my phone and threw it in the road. It got run over a couple
Oh, they'll get
times, and it
pissed
was
off.
fine.
Yeah, we'll try.
With
Sometimes
OtterBox.
they don't. To be
Only thing
honest.
I'm not into is screen protectors anymore. I mean, the OtterBox
have a
Defender
feeling
anyway
that they're
has
going
enough
to
space in between here and there. The only thing that would break it
Past
is
just
if
like
it fell
all the
directly on
buildings
something.
over there.
Just performance issues with that screen protector.
Yeah.
I just knocking on
Oh,
wood,
yeah.
but I'm gonna risk it.
For sure.
Did fine with the other one. I had it for 2 years, the 21. Took a great picture the other day though of the moon with this space zoom on this. Hang on, let me show you this picture.
Pissed
Let
off
me
Marine
show
is
you this
136
picture.
FOP. Hey, baby girl. Hello, YouTube
Let me see if I can
turns.
find it. Did I already put it in my photos here?
Isn't that interesting?
Nope, I didn't. Let me download this.
They have the right to be secure in
It's a
their
nice shot.
in their effects, but we don't. Ooh, you gonna go over there? They're not. They're fine. They're not even like bothered by us at the window.
Here for 5 more minutes, somebody would come out and try to get some direction.
Oh,
I'm more concerned
guys
about
see the puppy?
lights down there, though.
we went and
What
saw
if
the
they're
puppy
violating
Saturday.
somebody's rights right there, and we're missing it.
There he is. We're picking him up April 15th. Pretty sweet, huh? Let me show you the moon picture too. Actually, this one I'm going to save image as or moon.
They're gonna see us heading over there. They gonna leave. They gone. Thanks everybody for your support.
Yep, April 15th, new pug puppy. We had to have,
Anything is
you weren't
appreciated
around. Week before last, we had our pug put down. He was 13 years old, 13 and a half years old. Yeah, it looks like it's from a telescope. Every part of my life. I don't even have that many pictures of my
You're
younger
able?
years.
I've been out here with Josh driving a lot.
With my maternal side of my family, I don't have much relation. And my brother and my sister, I talk with all the
It
time.
ain't
But
easy holding these tyrants accountable.
the only parent I have alive is the female one, and I don't have anything to do with her anymore. I've got adopted moms that live around me now. My father's passed away a long time ago.
Oh, thanks, Melissa.
So I don't have a whole lot of pictures of me when I was young. or from college, or from the Army, or from deployments. I've got record of it, but I don't have pictures of it that much anymore. I'm sure I could dig deep and find it, but the sources kind of lose connection. There we go. $4,000 pictures. Do I have 4,000 pictures on Facebook? I don't. I use it mainly just for work and communicating with family. I don't generally post hardly anything on Facebook.
Josh is
I've been
right
put in
there.
Facebook jail too many
I'm on
times.
this side. What's going on? How's it going? Why are the lights on? There an emergency?
So he's checking
vehicle
it out.
stop. Gotcha. Serving and protecting.
Being a road pirate is what he's being. Now he's typing into his laptop
Were they speeding?
for backup.
Oh, is it under investigation? Huh. Oh, officer safety. That's silly. I'm holding the camera. You're holding the gun.
Here comes the backup. Yeah, I'm
not impeding anything.
Yeah, let's see some ID.
No one's between the cars, dude.
She's about to get her butthole touched.
You're asking politely, and we can decline. We politely decline. Thank you so much. Not that I need to be polite. Yeah, he did.
Watch the end of this interaction and then kill it. I gotta eat. I'm starving. I'm not starving. I hate it when people say that. You want me to get my supervisor? Yeah.
He's silly, though. You can't. We're not in between cars. I got to move from where? Is it this car that you've stopped behind me, sir? If you're going to ask me to move, you're going to need to let me know for my safety. That's silly. And I'm asking you, for my safety, am I blocking the car that could possibly back up into me?
They would all hit your car.
He can't answer any of my questions, but he expects me to answer his. For my safety. As if I would do anything that was going to be unsafe.
One of the best videos as far as that goes is on, I think he's privated almost all his videos for a while for now, but James Freeman had an awesome one where he literally asked them all the questions
on me.
that we ask. Or that they ask us.
Tons of space, guys. Not blocking. Doing great. Yeah, thank you. Oh, excuse you. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Stop for the directors.
Like, have you been to elementary school? You did the buddy system. We're buddies for today. I'm making sure you don't tase or shoot it.
Same distance between this door and myself as was over there. But respectfully, you can fuck off.
Orders. I don't understand it, man. Like, we didn't come up talking to you. You talked to us first. So for all intents and purposes, if you didn't open your mouth, we wouldn't be saying anything to you. But you don't have it in you. You feel like you got to give orders. Well, I don't take them. She doesn't take them. He doesn't take them. So the best thing for you to do to look as least stupid as possible is shut your mouth and do what we pay you to do. End of story. No questions asked.
But too bad he's already looking stupid, so he can't go back now. Oh, he's called for it. We're just waiting. But for our safety, he had to call backup. Silly. Unless he's planning on using any of those devices on me, my safety's fine.
Yeah, he did.
I'm more scared
They
of
were
you
just
than
standing
that car
outside
over
the
there.
recorder. It should be.
So how
They're
many
killers.
times today have you violated people's rights? No, I'm asking. You can talk to. I'm asking you a question.
I'm gonna roll it down, guys. I gotta get rolling. Thank you, Schmeder, for your
Name and badge
amazing
number.
comment. Was that you can.
Is it your policy to identify yourself to the public when they ask? Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
Measure your pulse with a laser. Well, your phone can.
So it would take you all of 2 seconds to provide your name and badge number just as your policy states. But you don't want to do that because your ego's too big and fat. Your big old ego.
Yeah, no problem.
So you got it.
If I didn't drop the link yet, here it is.
So brave.
Yeah, I got to get going. I came back on tonight, poker and
Yeah,
stuff,
he
all that
did.
stuff.
He did speak to us, which requires that he identify himself. He spoke to us. He should be giving us his name and badge number.
All right. That's the video we're watching.
Yeah, why are
Anna,
the cops so paranoid?
the
I
banana
don't get it.
Anna. We're gonna play my song on the way out.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet
Cause I
next
don't
to
give
me.
a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. We're taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta
Cause I
struggle
don't
through
give
the
a fuck
sewer.
what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build